Okay, meeting's gonna be called to order. What was that? Okay. You want to do a roll call real quick, just to find out?
Yes, Anderson is absent. Arakaki, absent. Ka'alam, Clark,
Here.
Conley, Ferguson, absent. Fitch, absent. Glenn, Iga, Imamura Uru, absent. Maeda, Mizusawa, absent. Suji, and Wood.
Here.
Chair, you do have quorum with 8 members.
Barely cut it, man. Okay. All right, Honolulu Fire Department. Gents, welcome. Yep. Go ahead and give your report.
Good evening to the humble residents of ʻAiea. This is a presentation to ʻAiea Neighborhood Board from Honolulu Fire Department, dates October 1st, 2025. Subject, Honolulu Fire Department Neighborhood Board, reports October 2025. The statistics provided below represent confirmed number of incidents in the NHB's geographical area for the previous month. For more details on the incidents and related mapping information, please visit the Fire Response Search tool on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Info tab. Should you have questions, please email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. Information previously requested, incident details, requests for an incident report for a specific incident may be made online at fire.honolulu.gov/request-for-information/. Recent incidents may still be under investigation. Homeless encampment concerns. If you suspect an illegal burn, call the HFD to respond and extinguish the fire, and call the HPD for possible legal enforcement. If there are concerns about homeless individuals or groups in your neighborhood that need help, contact the City and County of Honolulu's Crisis Outreach Response and Engagement, otherwise known as CORE. Program via email at core@honolulu.gov or call the CORE hotline at 808-768-2673 to ask for assistance. This line is for non-emergencies only, and calls will be returned as soon as possible. Bullet point 2, incident statistics for September 2025. A, fires. Structure, 0. Wildland/brush, 3. Nuisance, 6. Cooking, 0. Activated alarms, no fire, 7. B, emergencies, medical, 105. Motor vehicle collision with pedestrian, 2. Motor vehicle crash/collision, 12. Mountain rescues, 0. Ocean rescues, 0. Hazardous materials incidents, 0. Nuisance fires include rubbish fires outside a structure or vehicle. 3. Fire safety tips and announcements. Fire safety tip, seasonal decorations. With the holiday season just around the corner, consider fire-resistant, non-combustible decorations. Choose only Underwriters Laboratory-approved electrical decorations and follow manufacturer's instructions for installation and load. Use lights that are in good repair. Always turn off lights before leaving your home or going to bed. Do not overload power strips, surge protectors, and extension cords. Never leave candles unattended. Secure lighters and matches out of reach from children. And a special message for the people of ʻAiea: please stay hydrated and maintain excellent conditioning of your heart health.
Okay, thank you. Board members, any questions? Yeah. Mike, Lawrence?
Yeah, I just had a general question. As far as electrical vehicles, when they catch on fire, as far as your training in suppressing that type of fire, I know when you have a normal combustion engine fire, when the fire truck rolls up, they can put the fire out in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. As far as the electrical vehicle fire, you guys just suppress it because it's a chemical reaction and it burns out? But do you guys just wait till the chemical reaction is over and just let it burn?
With the electrical vehicle fires, our main concern is our main concern with the electrical vehicle fires is for passenger safety. So the first concern with that type of fire, as any car fire, is to remove the patients from the vehicle. And then at that point, it would be to address the fire with the resources that we have, which we will do the best that we can to, and potentially get the hazardous materials company involved, since it is potential hazardous material with the lithium-ion batteries.
It's just as a general question, yeah, say for instance, a gas-powered car. I know once your fire truck rolls up and you blast it with water, within about 5 minutes, you guys have it out already. Yeah. Okay, so you just wait till the chemical reaction is done and the fire itself burns out.
Have things around, make sure it doesn't spread.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up question about the vehicle pedestrian incident. Was that near the 76 gas station where that new construction?
I am unaware to the location of that specific incident that you are referring to was located. I believe that you can find information about that. Website that fire.hulu slash request for information. I personally went to it more.
The only reason I brought that up is that for the past months, we've brought up the issue of that construction site there and how the construction is impeding along the pedestrian sidewalk area. So that was the only question. I'll find out. Thank you.
Russell?
Oh, can you use the mic? Is there a mic?
I don't think there's a mic over there.
The fire, you mentioned the fires of electric vehicles. You guys have difficulty putting out the fire. What about fires of homes with solar panels, electric, batteries? You guys ever came across one that had a fire that you cannot put out the fire? Or at home? Yet? Not yet.
Basically with these electrical fires or these electric batteries, the batteries are made up with like a whole bunch of, if you just imagine like a hundreds of like AA batteries all put together. But once one goes, then it's called thermal runaway, and it just catches on to the next and next and next. So it just takes forever. It takes as much water as we can. Like we can sit there and even after, like Ricky was saying, like you could put a car in water and it'll still be burning in the water, like in a cup of water, it'll still be burning. So And it's like what he's saying is you're just trying to protect exposures at that point. So like in the case of a house, you're trying to protect everything around the house, or around those batteries, because there's only so much we can do with those electric batteries.
Suggest like if you have like that. I'm just thinking, like, just walking around ʻAiea Heights, you have homes, multiple homes in a row with solar, you got the batteries. Well, I mean, they all have batteries, like Tesla batteries, you can see them.
Well, those PV like for PV panels and things like that, yeah, it's like, that's basically what it is. We're just trying to.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if a house catches fire,
Mhm.
boy, the whole neighborhood could go up.
The general principle for us remains the same. If we get called to a house fire, whether it has the solar panels or not, our main concern is life safety, so removing
Right,
any trapped victims inside of the house and basically preventing spread.
right, that's what I'm saying, is that
So
the,
that house might end up becoming a loss at that point, but main thing is we got the people out and preventing it from spreading throughout the house. We do that with tools that we found out.
Like that. I mean, one battery's not coming. Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay. Community members, any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? Anybody online, Curtis? All right, thank you, folks. Thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for the report. Okay, HPD. Are they on? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Even though they do have three, I think there was like 3 outstanding questions from last month that they needed to address. Okay. Okay, we have a filling of 1 vacant at-large seat. Anybody want to fill this position? Anybody online? Nobody emailed you? Okay, we're going to move on then. All right, city reports, Board of Water Supply. Tracy.
Good evening, Chair Wood, members of the ʻAiea Neighborhood Board and members of the community. I'm Tracy with the Board of Water Supply. There were 7 main breaks reported in this neighborhood board district last month. There were 2 on Ali'ipoi Drive, 1 on Pa'ihi Street, 1 on Ipuala Street, 1 on Kalike Place, another 1 on Iho Place, and 1 on Ivaena Street. The copy of my report, and if you want to look at the exact details regarding the locations of these main breaks, are in the Google Drive. As far as general water announcements goes, it's kind of timely because we're talking about main break updates. So when a main break occurs, the Board of Water Supply works quickly to reduce the impact to customers, protect public safety, and restore service. For the latest updates on main breaks, this is generally 4 inches or larger, and information on how repairs are made, visit www.boardofwatersupply.com/mainbreaks, and that's with an S. You can also stay informed on Facebook and Nextdoor, and for larger or more impactful main breaks, you can sign up for H&L Alert. That's the city's alert system. At the last meeting, we had an inquiry from Board Member Higa regarding the Kalailoa desalination plant project. We're suggesting, because your agenda is so packed and it's kind of difficult to do a presentation at this point, we're suggesting that you visit a special website that was set up for this particular project, and that's at https://kalailoadesalco.com. and also watch the video. There are, the links to this information are also in the, this neighborhood board's Google Drive. And that's it as far as,
All right, thank you. So are you good with that, Lawrence, or do you want them to come? Well, let's talk about this first. Are you good with that, or do you want them to actually come and present in January?
If our agenda permits.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, we can fit it in there.
Because the cost basis, you're gonna be paying like 6, 7, 8 times more for that gallon of water
Mm-hmm.
versus a regular gallon of water from the
Right.
wells.
Okay.
But yeah, if our agenda permits.
Yeah, we can do it in January. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Questioning.
I had a question. I know I mentioned this to Ernie the other time I saw him, but Hawaiian Electric pays only 8 to 12 cents under a power purchase agreement. Everybody else downstream, all the customers, we pay like 40 cents per kilowatt hour. One of my concerns was you're linking Board of Water Supply costs with Hawaiian Electric's costs also. So I'm not sure if there's a way that Board of Water Supply can get a power purchase agreement and buy cheaper power, reduce the cost to make water. But it doesn't seem right that both utilities are linked together.
okay, I just want to make sure I understand your question. So your concern is that HECO seems to pay less
Yeah.
for,
Under their power purchase agreement, you know, for those solar farms, they buy the power at 8 to 12 cents a kilowatt hour.
okay.
Everybody else are common people and businesses.
Mhm.
We pay like 4 times more, like 40 cents a kilowatt hour.
Okay.
So that dramatically increases the cost that Board of Water Supply has to pay to generate water.
I see.
So is there any way Board of Water Supply can get a power purchase agreement and buy power directly from those solar farms and buy it for 8 to 12 cents per kilowatt hour?
Okay. So your question is, can the Board of Water Supply get a power purchase agreement to purchase power at a cheaper rate?
Yeah, because it's all ratepayer money, right? If PECO charges you guys $1 a kilowatt hour, you guys pass all that cost to ratepayers. The Board of Water Supply can buy it at a lesser cost. You're not gonna transfer that cost over to the ratepayer.
Okay. So this is to power our pumps and our distribution system.
Yeah, your desal plant.
Okay, the desal plant
It
is.
takes a lot of power to desal salt water.
Okay, but this is specifically for the desal plant.
Well, any project that uses electricity, it'll be good if they can get a cheaper rate as far as what they pay for power.
All right, I will go back and check. And then we'll see about doing a presentation in January.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Tracy. Okay, any questions? Oh, Russell, go ahead.
Tracy, I just wanted to let you know that, over the weekend, you guys doing a lot of work around here on ʻAiea Heights, yeah, up at Ka'amilo at the top by the water tank. One of your contractors had parked its vehicles out there, yeah, over the weekend, and it was leaking all weekend. Water. Yeah, so just letting you know.
Okay,
it's-
contractor had,
Conserve water, right? I mean,
right, parked his vehicle.
yeah, they had, because they have some equipment up there.
Okay,
Yeah, they park it on the streets.
Right.
And this was, it was not a BWS vehicle or equipment, but looks like a contract or something. But they're parked right outside of that water tank at the top of Ka'amino.
okay, and then you said something was leaking?
And I'm pretty sure it's water all weekend. The road was wet all week.
Has that been resolved?
I haven't been up there
Oh,
since.
okay. All right, thank you.
Kaz?
Yes, this is in regards to a water tower in Newtown on Pinky Street at
Mhm.
the corner or near the corner of Pinky and Willow. We noticed that the Board of Water Supply sign for that water tank has been replaced with a contractor's sign, and there's no description as to what is going on. I'm sure it has something to do with the water testing, but the neighbors in the area would like to at least know what the purpose of that contractor is with regards to that water tank? And whether or not there should be some sort of public notice posted on the fence if the Board of Water Supply is no longer identified there and it's just a contractor's name? Can there be some sort of notice on there stating what the business of that contractor is?
Okay, so just to make sure I understand your question, you're saying that at a water tower reservoir, I guess, in Newtown near Peaky, P-I-K-I, and Willow, W-I-L-O-U Street, right? You said there's a contractor sign there?
Yes, the contractor is Alpha Inc.
Alpha, I'm sorry again?
Inc., INC. And there used to be signs that said Board of Water Supply, but there's no longer any identification that of that there. It's been replaced by Alpha Inc.
Okay, so the neighbors want to know what's going on there.
Yes.
Okay, I will check on that and bring the answer back in the January meeting.
Okay. Any other questions for Board of Water Supply? Nothing heard? Anybody online? Okay, community members? All right, nothing heard. All right, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
All right, Mayor's office.
Good evening, Chair, Board, and Community. I'm Haku Millis. I'm the Director for the Department of Design and Construction. I'll try to get this quickly. Some highlights from the Mayor's newsletter: Skyline Segment 2 open for service, adding 5 miles and 4 new stations, including Pearl Harbor and the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. The city's Early Education Center relocates its multi-year repairs begin on municipal parking structure, and new sewer rates go into effect January 1st, 2026 for Oahu residents. The November 25 edition of the Mayor's newsletter can be found at the link I put in the chat, honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. Royal Hawaiian Band will hold a free concert at the Blaisdell. Join us on Friday, November 28th for the Royal Hawaiian Band's Kalikimaka Ho'omau at the Neil S. Blaisdell Concert Hall at 7 p.m. This non-ticketed event is free and open to the public. Doors to the Blaisdell Center Concert Hall will open at 6 p.m. and seating is first come, first served basis. The city will also illuminate Thomas Square Park for concert goers to enjoy before and after the performance. Honolulu City Lights begins the following evening, November 29th, with the traditional tree lighting ceremony at Honolulu Hale, followed by the Public Workers Electric Light Parade down King Street. There's a new system for electronic press releases. City and County of Honolulu has updated our press release distribution system to make it easier for Oahu residents and members of the public to sign up to receive these important updates. As of November 5th, 2025, subscribers will start receiving press releases in their inbox through the new system. To sign up for these releases, visit honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter-sign up. I'll put that in the chat. A couple of old issues, and I'll just get through all of these. The sidewalk status and construction at 99-230 Moanalua Road. As a follow-up, the question that came in was, does the new construction project include turning restriction from Moanalua Road? Specifically, when this project is finished, will cars be able to make a left-hand turn from Moanalua Road to enter the property? And will vehicles exiting the property be allowed to turn left to get onto Moanalua Road? Second question was, can DPP inspect the sidewalk fronting 99-230 Moanalua Road to see if the sidewalk is ADA compliant and wide enough for wheelchairs? The response from DPP is the driveways for this project will be limited to right in and right out only. No left turns will be allowed. The frontage improvements for this project are ADA compliant. Catholic Charities Special Treatment Facility. Resident Claire Yim requested the permitting status of a fence and gate at 98-697 Kekiali'i Street. DPP replied, after verifying permit records, a building permit was not recently applied for or obtained for a fence at 98-697 Kekiali'i Street. If the fence does not exceed 6 feet in height in accordance with ROH 18-3.1. It does not require a permit. Next, skyline column concerns. Member Higa raised concerns about discoloration and micro cracks on column 277 and 278 by the Pearl Highlands Station. And can DTS inspect columns? Columns were documented in the city's biennial bridge inspection report and continues to be monitored for any changes in size or severity. Preventative sealing work is also in the works to prevent against water intrusion. There was a question about Pearl Harbor shuttles connecting with Skyline. Member Glenn asked what Pearl Harbor shuttles connect with the Halava and Makalapa Skyline stations. Can the city partner with the military to connect the Halava station and Ford Island? Can military or private shuttles pick up passengers from Skyline stations? DTS provided the bus route PH8 and route 331 connect to Skyline along Radford Drive, fronting Makalapa Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam Station at bus stop number 4872. That's the Makalapa station. Routes PH1, PH2, PH3, PH4, and PH7 connect to Skyline along Kamehameha Highway near Halava Aloha Stadium Station at bus stop 695. DTS also met with Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam Command to discuss bus service within the base, but bus service to Ford Island was not requested or discussed. DTS is open to discussion to allow military and private shuttles to serve passengers at Skyline stations. There was a question about digital payments. It has been 2 years since Skyline service started. Why is the Holo card not available on mobile wallets? Can DTS expedite implementation to allow riders to tap credit cards and use mobile wallets to ride the bus and Skyline? DTS replied that they are in the process of amending our Holo contract to implement open payments. This will allow customers to tap their credit cards and use their mobile wallets if they have a credit card loaded for adult fares only. The target for implementation is March of 2026. Last inquiry was, can HPD increase police enforcement to ensure safety of park users, particularly Waimalu Neighborhood Park and the homeless? Can DPR lock the restrooms at night after the park closes? HPD replied on various days between October 22nd and 24th of 2025 from 9 a.m. To 10 a.m. District 3 officers conducted checks at 98-375 Honolulu Road and did not observe any homeless individuals using the park restrooms, doing drugs, or damaging the property. Their presence may have helped to deter violations. Please encourage constituents to call 911 as this will result in a more expeditious response. DPR also provided a response. They reached out to HPD for assistance in addressing the illegal activity. If the public witness any illegal activity, they're encouraged to call 911. Additional funding is needed to hire a security company to lock the restrooms at night. When funding becomes available, DPR will add Waimalu to the list of parks to be locked at night. Those are the previous issues. That is my report, and I'm happy to take any questions that
Board
anyone might have.
members, any questions for the mayor's office? Lawrence, we'll start with you first.
As far as if there's any design or contractor inadequacies with the rail project, why doesn't the city go after the contractor? Because every time there's a change order, the contractor nails you guys for like hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm sure there must have been issues with the design or contractor's work, but the city never collects anything from the design of the contractor. Why is that?
Yeah, I appreciate the question and concern. If you have specifics, I think that would be helpful. I know that when there are deficiencies in the design that create additional costs, that is something that city does go after. Again, if you have specific instances, I can take those back to heart, and they can probably provide additional information. As one could imagine, it does take a lot of time when the lawyers get involved in order to recoup funds. But a lot of the time, it's more important to keep the project moving, and then the legal battles happen afterwards in order to recoup funds.
Yeah, I just think it's unfair that we don't see anything in the news about any types of, I guess, suits against the designer or contractor for inadequacies, but every time the contractor comes back and wants a change order, the city pretty much always pays it off. So I'm not sure if things are being transparent or not, because there's a lot of things that may have gone on that wasn't reported. But I'm just concerned that every time that the contractor, the designer has issues, the city always pays them off. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it would help to have specifics so that way they could provide information on what is being reported versus what is happening in the conversations, provided they are allowed to talk about it when it's not an actual lawsuit. Thank you.
Paul?
Yeah, thank you for your report, Haku. Perhaps this is not in your area of concern, but when people are driving ʻAiea on the Moanalua Freeway and take the Moanalua Road cutoff, there is a very distinct bump in the road there, a very jarring bump. It looks like to me where the asphalt changes into concrete. And it's been that way for over a month or two. I was wondering if you could have the Department of Transportation look into this very jarring road that's not level.
Definitely, we will reach out. I can reach out to Ed and see if he's aware of that. This is the Moanalua exit, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kathy?
Hi, Haku.
Hi.
Newtown Estates Community Association would like to request a designated left turn lane going up Ka'ahele Street to reduce the risk of left lane vehicles from stopping or possibly causing an accident when a car is turning left into the Newtown Rec Center driveway. I just found out about your 311 app, so I intend to fill in a request form. Is there anything that I should know?
No, I think the 311 is the best way. I'll take a note, and I know the NCO is taking a note of this, so we'll look for DTS to provide a response. But for more immediate track response, the 311 app is pretty effective. So I will say that the Department of Transportation Services does get requests like these, and a lot of times it requires a study to justify, and it does take some time because sometimes they have to hire an outside company to conduct the study and complete the report. And so, yeah, we'll take it back and see what DTS responds with. But thank you for the concern.
Thank you, Haku.
Yeah, so what I advised her before the meeting was to go ahead and create the ticket on 311 app and then provide you with that ticket number so you could track it.
Even better. Yep.
Yep.
Chairwood is correct. He's pretty effective at getting me those numbers.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for the mayor's office? Board members? Okay. Anybody online? No. Okay. Community members, any questions for the mayor's office? All right. Nothing heard. All right. Thank you, Haku. As
Thank you,
always,
Chair.
a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Councilmember Cordero's office. Hey, there she is.
Hello.
I thought you weren't going to be able to make it.
Oh, no.
But I'm
was
glad
gonna
you
be late.
did.
Yes. Aloha, everyone. My name is Radiant Cordero, your council member for Council District 7. And I hope that you have my report. If you don't, you can go to honolulucitycouncil.org, click on my face, click on newsletters and reports, and you'll be able to see all my reports to this board and everyone else since 2021. I do have some follow-ups. Well, first off, I do want to give a shout out. I know that Director Millis mentioned about the Seagull, all the movement happening at Civic Grounds, but him and his department have been working on this and making moves happen because the construction at the structure is such a probably a really hard engineering job, but also moving all the keiki to a whole new spot and making it a safe space is a feat. And they were able to do that in really good timing. And so huge props to Director Millis among all the other work that they've been doing at the Department of Design and Construction. With that, I do want to note that the enforcement on, if you look on the first page, we have enforcement on Pohai Place. We please ask people if you see any need for enforcement there to please call HPD so that they will be able to see it because when they did go out there, they did not observe any illegally parked vehicles. So if you are in and around the area, please call HPD as soon as you can. We do have some updates relating to overgrowth, and a notice of violation was provided to 98-1266 Neki Street. And yes, next we have the erosion of a sidewalk at 99-260 ʻAiea Heights Drive. So a request has been put in and we have a request number for that as well. We had a request about off-street parking at 99-639 ʻAiea Heights Drive. Note that the amount of parking for off-street parking stalls at that property is 9. So 9 off-street parking stalls, which is stated in the land use ordinance. We do have more community concerns updates. Please look at that on the rest of my report here. I do want to note that there is a deadline for a grants and aids application. If you or a nonprofit you know is seeking to apply, the deadline is November 24, 2025, and there's additional information there. I do have more, but I think Director Millis was able to highlight a bunch of it. I do want to once again invite everyone to the Honolulu City Lights, especially now that it's extended out to Thomas Square, but also to check out the trees that every single department has worked so hard on as well. And we hope to see you at all the different celebrations. I do want to note, and I want to thank David, for allowing me to join them at Planet Fitness for the opening there. I didn't get to add it to this report, but just wanted to note that happened last week. I don't know, Thursday, I think. Yeah,
It
last
was
week
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, last week Thursday. Yes, so I was able to go to Salt Lake Neighborhood Board wearing that really nicely. So thank you. Anyone for
Okay.
any questions?
Questions for council member Lawrence?
I just had a comment regarding property taxes. I know I heard rumors that they may be raising property taxes, but as everybody here probably know, Hawaii is one of the highest tax states in the nation. And property taxes are based on your property value. So if you bought your house, say 5 years ago, and you paid 500,000, that's the amount your property taxes were based on. 5 years later, say your house is now worth 1 million. Your property tax is based on 1 million, basically doubling up. But as far as all the revenue that's generated, I cannot see property taxes going up based on how much housing prices has gone up in the past several years.
Thank you, Board Member Higa. That is news to me that we are raising or proposing to raise real property taxes. So that is not something that is being proposed. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the council member? Russell?
To the council person that, throughout the states, the United States, real property taxes are used to pay for education.
Yes.
It is not used here. Okay, so there is an abundance of cash flowing into the city and county already from existing real property taxes. So like board member had mentioned, really should be reluctant of increasing any of our property taxes any further. Remember now, you do not pay education.
I'm very well aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan?
If the property property tax doesn't pay for education, what does it pay for?
well, I guess I would invite you to go to honolulu.gov and check out all the different departments that we have at the city and county of Honolulu, from roads to parks to lighting to infrastructure, sewer. The biggest one
Fire,
is sewer,
Police.
fire, police, EMS. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Chair Wood,
Any
if I
other
may,
questions?
if I may, real quick, sorry.
Yeah, Haku, go ahead.
I just want to make a quick note on the property taxes and what that funds. There's a number of city services that are funded through property taxes. The sewer fund is separate. That's the fee that you pay for the sewer average. Sorry, but there is, as Councilmember Matt, let go, please. Sorry about that. Cordero mentioned there's a lot of information on honolulu.gov about the services and city budgets, what money goes to services versus projects. And so please check that out. And if you have questions or concerns about any of that stuff, happy to provide more information however I can. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, community members, any questions for the council member? Okay, nothing heard. Really appreciate you showing up, by the way. I
Thank
know you
you.
had like 2 other meetings conflicting with this one,
just
so
rushed over.
you just rushed over. So thank you so much. Okay, council member Okimoto's office. All right, nothing heard.
Hi, Chair. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just I didn't want to, my name is Aaron. I'm with the Office of Councilmember Okimoto. Not to beleaguer the point, but we did just cut property taxes for constituents throughout the island. So good evening, Chair, as well as Vice Chair and the board. This month's report has been posted in the chat. Some highlights from that are the resolution 25-305, request DPP declare the previously approved conditional use permit minor for Kamanui agribusiness null and void, or deny modifications to that current permit. Bill 62, City 1, relating to amendments to the bed and breakfast, home and transient vacation unit standards and requirements. It's just kind of updating ordinance 25-2 to include some of the missed requirements. Bill 5, CD2, addresses farm animal control by adding a new article to chapter 12 of the revised ordinances of Honolulu to address the duties and functions of a farm animal control contractor. The Committee on Budget met today. Bill 55 establishes fees on developers to administer the city and county of Honolulu's multifamily rental housing program. Bill 63 amends the requirement of low-income housing dedication for residential use. Adds an annual reporting requirement and provides a home exemption to those who rent out homes long-term. Bill 64 requires the mayor to submit a report on appropriations at the same time as budget documents are submitted pursuant to the city charter. The council member does plan on attending the Christmas parade, and she hopes to see you there. And for any interested, the Ken Suanagi Pearl City pool dedication will be in early January. I can take any questions.
Okay, there was a question last month about scams, Lawrence. You were the one that brought that up, and there's in the notes it says that the office would verify and return the information next month.
Yes, I went to a info meeting at Pearl Ridge Elementary School, and they're talking about kapunas being scammed via internet or online via their phone. But in the middle to the latter part of that informational meeting, they said nobody has been prosecuted for committing these scams or frauds in the state. I was just wondering, why is that? Because we have so much kapuna out there and we have so much people running these scams, but they cannot prosecute anybody. So I just was wondering why we're not having anybody prosecuted for those scams.
Gotcha. I did not get that question. Usually Pooh is here. I will look into that. What school did you say you were? Which assembly were you at?
They did it at Pearl Ridge Elementary. Representative Sam Kong, I think, was the one that got everybody together. But all of the representatives were supposedly there, including Member Cordero, I'm not sure if,
Senator Elafante was there.
oh, you went?
Yeah, I went, yeah.
Oh, I did not see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, I'll see if I can get that answer for you. I apologize. I may email you in the meantime.
okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions for Okimoto's office? Okay, community members? Okay, nothing heard. Thank you for your report. Much appreciated.
Appreciate, thank you.
All right, moving on to Congressman Ed Case's office. All right, moving on to Governor Green's office. Hey, there she is.
Chair, Chair, members of the board and members of the community, I'm Janelle Sanishi representing the Office of the Governor. The governor is on his way to Arizona at this moment for the Western Governors Association meeting. But before he left today, he did participate in the Spotlight Now news show on Hawaii News Now, where he went into a lot of more detail about the efforts to address the needs of those who were impacted by the federal shutdown, and they worked really hard with the Department of Human Services to launch the Hawaii Relief Program, which directed $100 million from the Temporary Assistance to Needy Families Fund to help with housing and utility costs for families impacted by the shutdown. And they also established a food assistance program, which filled in about $250 per SNAP recipient to bridge the gap during the shutdown. The governor also directed $2 million to food banks statewide to help maintain food distribution. So yeah, you can see his more detailed comments on Spotlight Now. He also touched on that he appointed a 10-member advisory committee made up of Native Hawaiians for discussions over the state's military leases and lease lands. And the public can also weigh in and provide comments to that issue at the website engage.hawaii.gov. And also, they wanted to, in the governor's newsletter, they also highlighted that the Executive Office on Early Learning opened the state's 100th public pre-kindergarten classroom at Monowili Elementary, which that program provides keiki 3 to 4 years old with preschool, free preschool classrooms. That was headed by Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke. And in the past, since they launched it 2 years ago, they have tripled the number of classes for pre-K students. That's about it. If you have any questions.
Board members, any questions for the governor's office? Lawrence?
Yeah, I just heard that the chair of the PUC stepped down and they're looking for a new chair. I was just wondering, as far as the organization, I've also researched and they said 30% of its skilled staff, including 10 departures in the past 6 months, they left the PUC. Is the PUC an independent organization, or is there oversight by the governor as far as what decisions they make and how they make those decisions?
Can you tell me what the PUC is?
Public Utility Commission.
Okay, thank you.
I believe it's an attached agency or part of DBED, but not quite under the executive branch, but administratively attached to a department. So they are somewhat autonomous, I believe, just administratively attached to the government.
I'm just asking, it seems suspicious that they say no specific reason was provided. The chair just thanked the governor and the governor just said, it was an honor to be service to the state. But I'm not sure because there's a lot of things going on with this natural gas that they're trying to buy or import from Japan. It's $2 billion. I'm sure that's going to affect how Hawaiian Electric operates. And that's going to affect decision making as far as what the ratepayers are going to be paying. I just see our rates going up all the time. It never goes down. And earlier in our meeting, they have those purchase agreements where Hawaiian Electric buys power for 8 to 12 cents per kilowatt hour. But the common people out here, we pay 40 cents per kilowatt hour. So Hawaiian Electric is making 4 times the amount of money off of their purchase agreements. But I just think at hopefully a point in the future, our electric rates stabilize or start going down. Thank you.
Do you
Okay,
have
thank you.
a question for the PUC or? No.
I mean, I think it's more of a question for HECO, right? Is what you're asking for?
It's more like a comment because
Okay, just a comment.
I'm not sure how PUC operates. I'm not sure who oversees PUC, but if the governor is making decisions for the PUC, then, because of this contract with Japan for natural gas, they're gonna be paying $2 billion. Nobody really has a say. All it is ratepayers are gonna be paying for it.
Lawrence,
Thanks.
Russell?
just to give you some background, the Public Utilities Commission, the commission is made up of 3 members. The members are appointed by the governor, confirmed by the Senate. So they are political appointees. They are salaried appointees, meaning they're full-time salaried employees of the state under the governor, theoretically, because he appointed generally. But they make their own decisions on, like you say, rates of HECO, other public utilities, transportation costs, et cetera, Young Brothers, fees. That's the commission.
Yeah, the reason I just brought this up was, the governor announced that he's tentatively looking at a $2 billion deal with Tokyo-based JERA. Who was involved in that decision? Was it only the governor or was his advisors in the PUC involved in that?
I
Yeah,
can
that's why I
ask the
was looking
PUC.
at that. Thank you.
So is there any action you want Janelle to take? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. Any other comments, questions to the governor's office? Okay. Community members, any questions, comments? All right. Nothing heard. All right. Janelle, thank you for your report.
Thank you.
That's appreciated. Okay. Moving on to Senator Wakai's office. Nope. Okay. Moving on to Senator Alfonte's office. Oh, there he is. I didn't even see you. You were hiding back there.
Snuck in like a ninja.
Yes, like a ninja shinobi. Yes.
Good evening, Chair Wood, members of the board, and members of the public. Brandon Elefante from the State Senate. A couple of things I want to share with the board and the community. So I know that the board won't meet till January of next year. So this would be the time now for the board or community, whether it's through a resolution adoption or reaching out to our office for any legislative proposals as we gear up for the 2026 legislative session, which will begin the 3rd Wednesday in January. Secondly, is this Friday, I'll be holding a public informational hearing related to clearance rates. What that is basically has to do with those that were arrested by law enforcement. If that ever gets to prosecution or if the case gets dismissed, how much of that are we actually clearing in our society? So there'll be a presentation from someone from the Council of State Governments. So that'll be Friday at 9:30. You can watch the hearing live on YouTube. And then lastly, I want to just 2 things. I want to thank Detective Kaylee Makanani from the Pro City Police Station. Many of you have worked with him in the past. He's worked at Pro City off and on for 17 years. He's moved on to another station, but he was the lead of our community policing team. So I want to acknowledge him and his team for all the hard work that he's done. His last day was this past Friday. And then lastly, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays and see you in the next year, if not before then, and happy to take questions.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Questions for Senator Alafante? Lawrence? Okay, no questions. All right, community members, any questions for the senator? All right, nothing heard. All right, thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to Representative Ichiyama's office. I think she's not going to be here or not a rep either. She mentioned that earlier. Okay, so we'll move on. And I know Representative Shimizu was in earlier. He's not going to be here either, I don't think.
I'm here.
Oh, he's online. Okay,
yeah.
okay, there you are. Okay. Yeah,
All
I
right,
wasn't
so-
sure since you were here earlier. I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make it or not.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you, board and community members. Just a few community information. Our office had a feral pig concern from Camp Smith. We are checking with the military how to correct that problem. We had another concern on Koa'uka regarding feral chickens and feral cats. We referred them to the city Department of Facility Maintenance and encouraged them to use the 311 app. Feral cats, we referred them to Hawaiian Humane Society, which is now the Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation, and also advised them that if a community is feeding cats on public property, that is a violation and they should call HPD. I invite the city elected officials to comment on that if that needs to be corrected or supplemented. Another event that is happening next week, Tuesday, November 25th, from 6:30 to 8:30 at Pearl Ridge Elementary Cafeteria. There is a combined neighborhood board presentation focusing on emergency and disaster preparedness. There is a slate of special speakers. I don't have that confirmed list. It was kind of up in the air, but encourage community to attend. That sounds like something important. Reporting that the governor released 28.5 million CIP funds for Halawa Correctional Facility, a consolidated healthcare unit, which is for design and construction. Thankful for the government shutdown ending. If anyone has adverse situations, please contact our office to see how we can help direct you to any available programs that are applicable. And as Senator Elefante said, Happy Thanksgiving and holiday wishes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for a great rest of the year and upcoming year. And as he suggested, if any of the board or community has bill suggestions or resolution ideas, please contact our office and see how we can help facilitate that. But other than that, I'm open to any questions.
Board members, any questions for a representative? Kaz?
Yes, with regards to feral animals, is there any coordinated effort from the top down on feral pigs in Newtown? We have escalating growth of feral pigs that are entering in the valley and the surrounding greenbelt areas. And I was wondering if, aside from the neighborhoods, is there anything that our representatives can do with regards to helping us to eradicate this pig problem?
Thank you for the question. You know, I don't have a definitive answer. I can share that where I live, Moanalo Valley, we did have concerns with feral pigs. We did contact DLNR to coordinate, I guess, hunting that would be eradicating selective eradication and signing up a pig hunting association and making sure that they had the correct certifications. And our community wanted just one responsible party to avoid any unauthorized hunting. So that was what our community did. I'm not sure what Newtown would do, but I would suggest working with the elected officials and coordinating with DLNR. That's from my experience.
Thank you.
So, Kaz, I guess we would reach out to somebody in DLNR to resolve this issue?
Um, you can
Understand
or
that
go
the-
through
I
your
understand the
go through
owner
your
about Newtown is actually private, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what you gotta deal with, because,
So
you
that
know,
would be an HOA thing then, right?
you have to have access on the private land in order
Uh-huh.
to go hunting. So like in where the representative lives, that's Monolo, because DLNR acquired the valley.
Right.
Okay. But I understand by Newtown and Royal Summit, immediately above the residential,
Yeah.
residentials, I believe is private, owned by, I forget the one in Royal Kunia, but not Royal Kunia, but Royal Summit, Lao, I forget his first
Okay.
name. But anyways, private. DLNR is above that. So
Okay.
it's immediately by the homes, I believe, is
Right. So this would be more like get with the HOA and then they would get with the private company or the private owner. Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So not a DLNR thing.
thank you, board. Thank you, board, Suji, for that clarification. That is correct.
Okay.
Apologize. Yeah.
I have been trying to get an individual, I guess, that does pig eradication. I've been trying to get them to come and brief at the board. So
I think we might be able to help you with that.
Yeah.
We've been researching it in Newtown, and
Okay.
we have the Oahu Pig Hunters Association, and
Yeah.
I think they would provide a great
yeah, if you can
insight
set that up,
into
let's
the-
get them on the agenda.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, that's the
Thank you.
organization that our community decided to work with also.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, community members? Oh, Senator? No, okay. All right,
Okay.
thank you for your report and much
Thank
appreciated.
you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, Senator, Representative Sam Kong. Nope. Okay, moving on. Okay, all right, going to community reports, ʻAiea High School. All right. Welcome. We've been trying to get you guys in here for a while now.
David Lane, I'm the athletic director at ʻAiea High School. Good evening, board members, community members. I'm wearing an ʻAiea complex shirt. It has shakas on it. We wear it on Shaka Monday. We usually have a theme throughout the week or throughout the month. And when we talk about the ʻAiea complex, we're talking about the elementary schools, 5 elementary schools, the middle school. I'm sorry, I was I worked in town for 6 years, the intermediate school and at the high school. Main reason why I'm here tonight is just to give you some athletic updates, and I'm so happy that Senator Elefante is here because he's such a pivotal member of our school. Okay, did I hit something wrong? Okay. So again, I'm the athletic director. I'm in my second year. I'm a Pro City graduate. 2 of my kids went to ʻAiea. I worked at Radford for 20 years, coached in the OIA for 30 years. So went to Waimalu Elementary. So this is kind of home for me. It's an honor to be here at this meeting. This is our principal, Wayne Guevara. I just want to talk about him for a little bit. He's in his 3rd year right now. He was principal at Moanalua Middle previously. He wants ʻAiea to be more visible in the community. So I know we had our makahiki with our food trucks. He just wants us, he was very instrumental in getting football games back being played at the stadium here at our school. I can give you a really good example. This past year, within a 3-day span, we did a homecoming assembly. Then we did a homecoming game. Then we had an OIA cheer competition. And then we did the homecoming dance that night. So the campus is very vibrant all the time. And, you know, we like bringing that back to ʻAiea. I'm going to talk about the bottom 3 projects. I couldn't figure out how to take out the one there because I took it offline. I'm going to be talking about replacing our gym bleachers. I'm going to be talking about our Title IX girls athletic locker room and weight training facility, which is for all the athletes, and our track and field improvements. I got to tell you, first of all, though, I'm so glad Senator Elefante is here. I can tell you within, and again, this is a personal note, but it's true, within the AMR complex, which is the central district, which were on the south side. Honolulu has gotten a lot over the years. I was at Radford for a long time. Senator Wakai did a lot, so we could get a lot there. But ʻAiea was always last for whatever reason. And now it's starting to come through. Even with this locker room, it's 6 years in the making. I'm the third athletic director that is working with it. But I really have to thank Senator Elefante and Representative Kong for really going to bat for us. And within my presentation, you will see some of the things that have happened. Okay, stadium resurfacing and new bleachers. It was supposed to begin this month, right after football season. And this is going to be news to Senator Elefante. But what happened was, and I was told from the beginning that we were only going to get a track and a field. Okay, they never put in anything for visitor bleachers. We still have the same green wooden bleachers that have probably been there since 1970. Okay, so those are all going to go away. So what happened was when I asked, when I went to, so I had told the committee, the construction committee, that either through our boost um 100 yards like other stadiums. And I said, well, I'm not going to be able to put on a football game with that limited seating. So Senator Elefante went ahead and got money for us, $400,000, for us to be able to buy those bleachers and make improvements on the cement bleachers. Well, we got the bleachers. Then they said we have to get another $1 million to put the slab for the bleachers. So that's going to take Senator another year now, okay, for that $1 million to get built. They don't want to. I get it. They don't want to start the project without that $1 million in there. But so that's going to probably hold things up for another year. Okay, it's expected to take 7 months, by the way. The new stadium. This is the design of the stadium here. After talking to some community members and going through our complex area superintendent and our school community council, we have decided to name the stadium after Coach Wendose. Okay, he was at the head coach at ʻAiea football for 21 years. He's now at Kamehameha. And Ed Kiuna, he was the president of the executive director of the HHSAA. He was the first PE teacher and first head coach at ʻAiea High School. So basically, it's going to be Kiuna Se Stadium. And we will take care of all of this once that field is done. If you look on the lower part, that's where the visitor bleachers are going to be. The unfortunate thing is because the land is so tight, we're only going to be able to have 4 lanes. So it's basically going to be a practice facility, and I'm going for track. And we're probably going to run some kind of sprint because, we want people to come to the school and be exposed to our stadium. We are probably going to run some kind of just sprint day somewhere during the track season at some point. But this is going to be a very, obviously where we are in Oluni and Kaumilo, this is going to be a very visible part of the ʻAiea community. And, we're very proud of it. Everyone in this room knows that ʻAiea High School's population runs from Newtown to Halawa Housing. So we have this whole mix of people that come to our stadium and come to our school, and we want to represent the community. Wrong button, sorry. Okay, and this is just a bigger, it's going to have what they call D zones. One side is going to be synthetic turf, one side is going to be grass, so teams can warm up, or track teams can work out while the football team is working out. Okay. And what's not on here is I am going to put the girls' flag football lines right. They're going to basically go from number to number. It goes from the 20 to the 20. So we're going to add that on too. Okay, our Title IX Athletics Training Center is expected to be finished soon. The handoff was supposed to be October 31st. We did get some of it back. We did have an unfortunate, something happened. We were supposed to have a meeting the other day. We had an unfortunate, something happened with one of our students, so we decided that we were going to postpone that meeting. So I don't have more information, but a lot of it is about to be turned over, but it's not done. This is 6 years in the making. This is 2019. You're talking about RFIs and COIs that number in the 300s. Went over I think it just hit 300 in our last meeting. Okay, we're gonna need. So this is basically a drawing of the athletic center. This is me facing from the corner of the gym, towards the stadium. The bottom floor is gonna be where that's where the elevator is gonna be, and that's how it's gonna be handicap accessible. The second floor is going to be, that's what we're going to call the triangle room. That's like a medical room right there. And the brand new, and behind that is the brand new girls locker room, which I have a picture of. And above is going to be the brand new weight room, which I'm going to have a picture of what it looks like now. And behind that is going to be our brand new cheer room. And it's going to be a dedicated weight room. So if you've been in ʻAiea gym before, the wrestling area and the judo area in the back is going to become a permanent dojo, and the permanent wrestling program is going to be up in the back over there. So I've already bought mats, close to $40,000 for both of those rooms. We've decided to name it big fanfare. We did a TV game, Sandra Miyazaki Athletic Training Center. Little background on Sandra. I won't go through the whole things, but she is still our trainer. She is one of the original trainers. That's when Calvin Say pushed for schools to have athletic trainers, and now we have two. And she's considered the godmother of the HHSAA and trainers. We're so lucky to have her. Both our trainers are amazing. Okay, this is the current state of affairs. It's a little bit better than this. That's kind of going to be the concession area right there, and where you see boarded up with the windows, that's actually going to be the concession stand there. So we'll have a brand new concession area. What you see with the hollow tile on the right, that's going to be an elevator, and then that's the stairway. This is the brand new wrestling and cheer room. The cheer can't really do stunts in there. They still have to go to the CAF, but they will have access to this room in the fall before wrestling comes in. But I did buy brand new wrestling mats that will be housed and will stay in there. And in there also is a restroom. There's an office. There's the tech, our electronics room in there. It's really nice. It's going to be really nice. This is a brand new girls' locker room. I can tell you, they didn't touch the boys' locker room. They didn't touch it at all. But this is the brand new girls' locker room. You can just see just from this shot right here in the corner how amazing this is going to be. And this is going to be shared by the PE department, and it's going to be shared by our student athletes. This is a restroom area, just to give you an example of how nice everything. This is right behind there. Restroom area, there's showers, there's just a whole lot going on. Would just take too long to go through everything. And I will, when we get everything done, I will invite everybody in for a blessing and for a tour. Senator Elefante has been through it, and he called a couple meetings to make sure that we were moving along, and it's been going better, Senator. This is a new athletics weight room. That's my assistant athletic director. He was the head coach at Lelehua for basketball. His dad was Richard Townsend, longtime Lelehua AD, but he's my full-time assistant athletic director. And he's going to be basically in charge of this area here. So this is going to be our new athletics weight room. When you were looking at the earlier shot, there's a roll-up door. So this is facing Makai. However, it didn't come with weights. So our booster club is working right now to work. We need to raise $95,000. It's on island, and we're working real hard for that. So that's our ʻAiea high school athletic boosters. Okay, new gym bleachers. And this is really important because we had a major injury when I had a private judo renter using the gym, so they had their liability insurance. It wasn't the state, and a senior citizen took a bad fall. Okay, so that I became like the guy in Shawshank Redemption. That I wrote after that. I wrote an email every week until they got the library and they said stop writing. So I was doing the same thing there with the bleachers, and now it's coming through. And again, thanks to Senator too, and Representative Cog. So this is our old bleachers. That's still there. I can only close it to the 8th row right now. Okay, right now it's out because we have a basketball game going on, but I can only close it to the 8th row. So at some point, we'll get brand new bleachers over there. And you can see how the bleachers go all the way to the wall. So every day somebody drops a cell phone, somebody drops something in there, and you have to jump in. You have to go through a little area, a little box to jump down in the middle. Okay, this is going to be our brand new bleachers. You can see on the lower part, I had them cut the bleachers at the edge so that it's easier for us to clean and easier for us to go underneath. The bleachers are going to be plastic. If you've been to Waipahu or Pro City, they do have wooden ones. But I think for us, especially on the second floor, because the gym is the flooring is not even, we have the same gym as Moanalua, except they have showers. They ran out of money with us, okay, back in 1991. So we don't have as big of a back area as Moanalua has, but other than that, everything is the same. But they're on flat ground. We're above our parking lot. So there is some areas in there that are dipping and sliding, whatnot, just over years. So with the plastic bleachers, less wear and tear on the motors. Okay. This is my favorite photo. We did this last year. So that company that had the judo tournament. This might even they donated these mats for us to use. So a lot of times judo is kind of like they come in after wrestling and they don't get all the fanfare. And I wanted to make it better for the kids. So I asked the company to come and donate those mats. And then what we did was we made all the kids leave their bags in the cafeteria, and I hired security in there so I could fit everybody on one side. And this is my favorite photo. That basket is still broken, by the way. We're still working on it. But this is my favorite photo because this really showed that, unless you looked at a football photo, this really showed that ʻAiea Athletics is back on the map. Okay, ʻAiea grad OG Slick, big on the mainland. He did the Palama settlement murals. Okay, he's big on that Mickey Mouse shaka sign with the four fingers now. Okay, back there, and then we're gonna put some signage up there. Basically, the Say Stadium, the Kiuna Say Stadium there. So I want to share that. But you can still see in the back, we still have a dirt track. It'll just be so much better for our student athletes and for our kids in our community. ʻAiea softball. I should have said ʻAiea athletics because I paid for the topsoil. We paid $1,800 for topsoil. But just last week, we had topsoil delivered. We paid for it, and then we had Hawaii Dredging come in, and they went ahead and because we use city facilities, right? We use the pool, we use the baseball field, we use the softball stadium. So we had new topsoil put in at the annex for the community because we feel fortunate that we're allowed to use those facilities. I have a really good baseball coach, and I have an extremely good softball coach who's been at ʻAiea for over 35 years, Alan Higuchi. Okay, the power of community. During the construction, we didn't have any home games. The kids, student voice, the kids asked for one home game. So last season we did homecoming senior night all together. We won. This year we played 6 home games. We finished we finished tied for second in the OIA Division 1. So that was the OIA championship matchup there. But just the community, just the community coming together and talking about ʻAiea football again was amazing. And this is our star player right here, Hiki Kim Choi Kebalo. He's committed to go to the University of Hawaii, and he's going to carry that ʻAiea legacy with him, that A-Town legacy. And we are 6-1 since coming back. And that's all I have. Take any questions.
Board members, Paul.
Thank you for a very good presentation, and thank you for all your efforts and all that you do for ʻAiea High School. The question I have for you is that when the construction on the stadium, the track especially, is completed, will there still be public access to use the track?
No, there will not be. Basically, because it is used during the day for PE, and because it's going to be a brand new facility, and we'll have brand new fencing in the front. It would be hard for us to allow the public to come in. I know that was a point of contention before COVID, but actually, you know what? The answer is right now, I would have to talk to the senator. I'm sorry. The plan, yeah. I'll talk to the senator about this and we'll work it out.
So, thank you, athletic director. He's been really a great partner and everything. To answer board member Glenn's question, this is something that I've been attempting to work on at the DOE level, at the superintendent, to get public access. We got as far as introducing resolutions. I'm happy to introduce another one again, and not just at ʻAiea High School, but all schools. But I know one of the key issues has to do with liability as that. But maybe perhaps we could look at something where after hours, the public can sign like a waiver so that they could use that, because as we know, parks are in demands and there's not a lot of fields or tracks out there. So we'll continue with that and working with athletic director Lane and the rest of the ʻAiea staff.
Curtis, please edit my answer out of that for the Olelo broadcast.
Okay, Lawrence.
As far as the football field, do you guys have a soccer program?
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. They don't have the soccer lines on there. They're practicing right now. So the plan was, it was supposed to start now, but you know, that $1 million came in. So I had already moved the soccer goals to the middle school, and they were going to practice at the middle school. Now I had to move it back. But next year, for sure, we're going to have to move them to the middle school. Our track, because our stadium is so bad, especially track wise. Our track team actually practices at Radford. So we pay for them one-way transportation to go practice at Radford, because you can't run on that dirt track anymore.
Thank you.
Any other questions, board members? All right. I do appreciate you coming. I think this is the first time ʻAiea High School's actually briefed in the 8 years I've been on this board. Yeah. So what I'm getting at is that I think this needs to happen more often. And the reason why I say that is between Claire, this board, Senator Elefante, Representative Kong, Councilmember Cordero, you have a huge amount of champions for your efforts, and you're really only relying on Senator Elefante, and that's a huge thing. He's very capable and awesome senator for us. But you have a whole other pool of resources here that you can utilize to get the things that you want. And ʻAiea High School is just not a state facility, right? It is a community facility. And I think that you do need to have the principal, the vice principal, other entities come and talk about the problems that they're having to this board, to the ACA, to Councilmember Cordero, not just to Representative Kong and Elefante, because we can help. We do help, and we can be effective for you. And we can champion those things that are important for you and our children that are in this community. Okay?
Thank you very much.
That's a
We
nice way of
definitely
scolding
do
you a
that.
little bit, but I hope
Yeah.
I did it. Okay?
Okay.
Because I
Thank you.
do recognize the fact that you guys are doing great work, and I really appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you. And I'll pass that on to my principal.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, with that, let's move on. We're going to go to the ACA. Claire.
Stood up ahead of time already. So you are participating in athletics in our Christmas parade, right?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Okay, good job. So this is a flyer for our Christmas parade and fun fair. I can email it to you folks all, but it's slated for December 13th. I think the neighborhood board is coming. And
Trying to list some members.
okay,
If I can, we will.
you can.
I know.
Even if you come by yourself, you can come.
Hold
Anyway,
that sign.
oh, anyway, do you want to set up a booth over there so that you
Let's
can
talk about
promote? Okay, you can promote the the neighborhood board. We are going to have blood. I did write notes here, you know. We are going to have the blood drive. Blood bank is going to have a drive, so they're going to have 2 trucks, because last time they were overwhelmed with the donation, with the people that signed up for that. And they do give you a little gift, like gift card, if you donate blood. Kaiser, I think, is still going to bring their flu shot or their first aid booth and our mobile. And we're going to have bouncers. We're still looking for volunteers. I just talked to, and just a segue into EAH, which is the affordable housing unit there. We just talked to them. So we're thinking we're going to run the parade and then run it up and through their driveway and then back around. They thought some of their seniors might enjoy watching from there. If not, they would come down. Just to let you folks know, they are probably at half occupancy now in the affordable housing unit. They are doing tours every Monday and Friday at 9 o'clock or 2 o'clock. You don't need reservations. They are not going to work on Black Friday though, or no tours on Black Friday.
Do you know if they've received more applications than units?
They are still, I think they're gonna probably do a booth so they can promote it a little bit more.
Okay.
Most of their, one bedroom, they only have 4 one-bedroom units left.
Uh-huh.
A lot of them that are vacant are the studios,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
So the smaller units. And it was kind of nice to hear that some old ʻAiea residents are coming back, that weren't there before. They do have some concerns about, the dogs walking through their area on their sidewalk and pooping and people not picking up. So I said I would let you folks know and I'll let our people know. They did call the police, because they were, up on this road, the cars were they're overnight. Cars are parking, our houseless people are sleeping in their cars. And then when they have to go to the bathroom, they go to the bathroom. So that seems to be a problem. And they wanted me to tell you that they support the trees grant.
Okay.
Because anything that makes this place look green was beautiful. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Claire. Any questions for ACA, Lawrence?
If I attend, I was thinking of maybe bringing my mom, but I have to push in a wheelchair. Can I do that?
Yeah, sure.
And can we pass out candy?
Yes, you cannot throw candy, but you can pass out candy.
Hey, thank you.
And it'd be really neat if your mom passed out candy. No, but you should, yeah, we're allowing dogs. So, you can carry your dog part of the way and then walk your dog down. But yeah, I just had somebody ask me about dogs.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Any other questions? All right, nothing. Thank you,
Okay.
Claire. We'll see you in a little bit because you're going to come up and talk about that park. Okay. Mr. Aubie said he was not going to be able to make it tonight. So we're going to skip that, the Hawaii Department of Transportation. Moving on to David, Pearl Ridge Shopping Center.
Chair Wood, members of the board, my name is David. I'm the general manager at Pearl Ridge Center. I wanted to just, like a few things going on at Pearl Ridge Center, as I think was mentioned earlier, our Planet Fitness did open. The blessing ceremony was on November 13th. The gym is state of the art and the staff is super helpful. So try to get by and have a look. I just want to mention a few events going on at the center. The 25th Infantry Division Band Christmas performance will be held on Monday, December 8th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. in the Vaimakai Food Court. The St. Elizabeth School Praise Choir will perform at the center Wednesday, December 10th from 5 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. In front of Gene's Warehouse in Vaimakai. And page here, following for the holiday, the Pearl Ridge Express Holiday Train will be running November 22nd through January 4th, and Santa arrives on November 28th and will be there through December 24th. I wanted to bring up a very good question that Board Member Higa raised last meeting was regarding concealed weapons. At all of our entrances, and you really can't see this ad very well, is our code of conduct. And we are required to post this at all of our entrances. The list is really prohibited items that are prohibited. And the first item is carrying or possessing any weapons of any kind, including weapons carried pursuant to a valid license. So I just want to point that out. Finally, I just want to say happy holidays. When you're thinking about Christmas shopping, I hope you think of Pearl Ridge Center. I had to get that plugged in, but over 60% of our retailers are local. So please consider shopping local. And then I'll certainly take any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, board members? Okay, Representative Kong, okay. Okay, nothing heard. All right, David, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, Stadium Authority, Chris.
Aloha Chair Wood, members of the board, and members of the community. I'm Chris Kinimaka from the Department of Accounting and General Services for the new Aloha Stadium Entertainment District. And tonight I'm going to be wearing a second hat for Samantha Spain, who's taking a well-deserved vacation, and I will share her report on the events at the stadium. So for NASED, we don't have any major announcements this month, but we are continuing with the demolition mobilization work. A lot of the work is not yet visible, but one of the things you would be able to see was the delivery of 2 office trailers for the relocation of the Stadium Authority, for the AHDP to start doing the layout and installation for the offices to move into the Lower Halava parking lot area. We also anticipate seeing the site fencing being installed next month and the other less visible work to continue so that the major demolition can begin early next year. We also piggyback on Claire's announcement, and we invite everyone to come down to the ʻAiea Christmas Fair and visit our booth to talk story and get the latest information with us on December 13th. And last but not least, our NASED newsletter is available on our website at nased.hawaii.gov. And if you sign up soon, you will be able to also get delivery of the November newsletter that's due out next month. And, oh, actually, I'm sorry, next week. So on behalf of Samantha Spain, she has 3 events she wanted to talk about. And the first was the Aloha to Aloha Stadium Farewell event that was hosted on September 25th. It was presented by Henry Kapono Foundation and TMR Events. Thousands of fans did come out. I was one of them and had a terrific evening there with legendary local artists such as Henry Kapono and Friends, the Makaha Sons, Hawaiian Style Band, Ho'onua, Kanaka Fire, and Ekolu, and with the night closing out with the fireworks at 9 p.m. They also hosted the Hawaii Food Bank Mass Food Drive on November 6th, which was very successful. They served roughly 2,000 families, about 30 pounds of food per family. The November 13th mass event was canceled by the Hawaii Food Bank. They had determined that they will now be focusing on localized distributions. If there are more mass distributions, the Aloha Stadium will definitely be participating in that. And last but not least, the Aloha Stadium Swap Meet and Marketplace did have their soft opening on October 15th. Based on what they have been observing, they have relocated the entrance to Gate 3 off of Kahua Pa'ani. And that was basically because they did see people having trouble getting to that location or knowing where it was. They are now going to be updating online maps to make sure it's clear where the entrance is. And they've added signage outside on the streets to enhance people's awareness of the gate. They also have changed the ride share pattern. They are relocating that to the main gate exit area. That's the exit near the traffic light by Gate 1, and that's on Salt Lake Boulevard. They will still have to enter through Gate 3, but the actual drop-off will be at that exit location. The Skyline and City Bus pedestrians are also being relocated to enter at the main gate exit, that same area, for easier access to the marketplace. And they are continuing to monitor noise levels from the vendors' setup and breakdown of their tents and equipments. So if you have any feedback on that, please do let them know. One of the things they did do was work with Sodexo to monitor the entrance and exit patterns for the vendors. In October, after the soft start, they did let some of the vendors keep their tents up for the whole week. That has changed as of November 1st. They reverted back to requiring vendors to set up and take down their tents daily. And again, they're monitoring the flow and the noise levels. We understand from one neighbor recently that the noise levels have not been a problem at all, and that they actually recommend the tear down daily because of vandalism and potential theft with the tents. So again, if you have any feedback, do let us know. Otherwise, the customer feedback has been very positive, and they're looking forward to a great holiday season, which will include a concert series, weekly gifts with purchase giveaways, vendor specials and discounts, and Aloha Stadium is partnering with Helping Hands Hawaii for their toy drive. So customers can pick up a wish tag at their information booth from November 29th through December 14th. And more information on this will be posted on the website at alohastadium.hawaii.gov. And with that, I'm open to any questions.
Hey, board members, any questions? Okay. Hey, Chris, I just want to, I did it. I went, I think it was maybe 3 weeks ago or so. I went to the swap meet, or maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know. It all just gets all mumble jumble. But basically, I do appreciate the fact the way it's set up. It's way more efficient than how it was originally. And then in addition, it seems to be able to cater more towards, because a lot of the folks, a lot of the booths or tents at the swap meet were like commercial endeavors. And it seemed to me more, more, like an individual, like cleaning out his garage kind of thing, like, and putting up a tent. There was more access to that. And it wasn't just the commercial endeavors that were kind of
Nice.
like getting stuck with, right?
Yeah.
So that was a nice little change.
Great.
And the idea of having those shipping containers, where I think it's vendors that they rent those, right? For more, like, they have a solid, like, I guess it's
That's
more of a
correct.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a good call, along with all the shading going on too as well in those areas. So thank you for
Thank you.
that. One thing I noticed though was the food vendors a little less than what used to be previously.
That came up even in the ACA meeting yesterday, that the question about the food vendors. So we did have a request for listing of the food vendors for the concert events, but probably also for the swap meet as well to
Yeah, because
verify.
the one thing I noticed at the swap meet was that the food vendors seemed to be less than what was previously there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
we'll confirm.
yeah. Okay. Community members, any questions? Okay, we're gonna move on. Thank you for your report.
Mahalo. Happy holidays.
All right, Lydia, welcome back. As one re-employed government employee to another, welcome back.
Very good to be back. Sorry we missed last month, but I'm sure y'all understand. Chair.
Oh, yeah.
Community. So we don't have our weekly Mo'olelo because we haven't been able to produce it, but we'll be sure to bring it to the next meeting, but we'll still share information in December. We're also restarting the Saturday ship tours, the ones we do that start in the morning. We've gotten great feedback on those. Lots of people interested. Again, kids up through adults just have to be agile. Our folks, we put out a volunteer announcement yesterday and already got 9 volunteers. And I know one of our reps was at the ʻAiea Community Association meeting and Claire graciously shared some opportunities. So please let us know. The report also has information on the Hawaii EIS with websites. We've briefed that previously, as well as the Hawaii, California Training and Testing EIS and an enhanced use lease. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the 84th anniversary of the Pearl Harbor commemoration. That will be Sunday, December 7th. It will be at the Pearl Harbor National Memorial Visitor Center. Starts before 8 a.m. and it does get filled up. I think you all are very well aware of that. It's a very moving and important ceremony. That's all I have. I'll turn it over to Joanne Delphin, who should be online for Red Hill update.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lydia. Good evening, Chair, board members, community members. Joanna Delphin from Navy Closure Task Force, Red Hill Public Affairs. So a couple of things from the command. One milestone that the command did hit during the government shutdown was they started degassing tank 20 at the facility. It's the 8th of 14 tanks that the team will be cleaning to permanently decommission the Red Hill Bulk Fuel Storage Facility. On December 11th at the Oahu Veterans Center from 5 to 7 p.m. we will be hosting our open house that is open to the public. If you've never been to one, I highly encourage you to attend. This open house will focus on the task force's accomplishments this last year and then looking forward to operations within the next year. Also aligned with the Mo'olelo that Lydia had mentioned, we are in the process of working on our next Red Hill highlights, which we hope to publish later this week. So you can find that and other upcoming information and news on the Navy Closure Task Force website and mobile app. Pending any questions, that's all I have for the group.
All right, board members, any questions for Navy? Lawrence?
At the other meeting, we were wondering the status of opening up that Halava well, and Navy mentioned they're waiting for Department of Health. Department of Health mentioned they're waiting for the Navy. What is the status as far as opening up that Halava shaft, the well?
So I do know that the team is still working with the Department of Health to get that the Navy ʻAiea Halava shaft reopened. I don't have all of that update information available right now, but we can get that back to you. But I do know that they still are working to get that shaft up and going. They do have the granular activated carbon filtration systems in place to address some of the concerns at that well. So that's part of all the work that's going on. But I can get you a more formal answer and send a response to Chair Wood.
Okay, so as far as those filters, they are being used currently. They are tied into the system.
So the well itself is not tied into the system. What's happening is we are pumping water from the Navy ʻAiea Halava shaft, and it's being filtered through those filtration systems.
Okay, so as far as your next step, you're still waiting on Department of Health then?
I can say that we're still working with them. I can get you more information when I touch back with the team later this week.
Okay, thank you.
Board members, any other questions? Okay. Community members, any questions for Navy? All right, nothing heard. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Welcome back. Okay, OCCC.
Hi, Chair Wood. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief update on the project. So last week, Bettina gave a presentation to the Metropolitan Honolulu Rotary Club. So this is that presentation. It's meant to be 20 minutes long, so I'm going to consolidate it into the 5 minutes that we have, as well as leave some time for our DCR representatives, which I believe we have Tessie online, as well as Ward and Shell in person.
Let me, sorry to interrupt. Would you rather report this? Maybe we can put you on the schedule for January to talk about this if you want.
Sure, yeah, that'd be fine. I can share with you this presentation, just so it's a nice little project brief.
Okay.
In the meantime, just to highlight, we will be at the fun fair, so we will have December updates. So stop by our booth with DCR. We'll have some handouts for everybody.
Okay, yeah, just give us the cliff notes then, and we can move on, and then get us, yeah, you can do the full presentation in January.
Okay.
Okay. Am I up? Am I supposed to talk? Okay. Is there anything else you want to brief?
Outside of that, for DCR, if the warden had anything to share, or if you have any questions for him.
Okay. Right. Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, I like to see the full thing. Also, I know Representative Shimizu was in earlier. He missed the September tour, but he expressed interest in still going. So maybe we can set something up again. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. If there's no other questions for OCCC, we'll move on. All right. Okay. Going on to board presentation and business. So let's go ahead and start off with the approval of the written summary for video record Tuesday, October 14, 2025. Anybody want to make a motion to approve the video record for that date? Paul. Okay. Anybody want to second that motion? Okay. Lawrence. All right. Any objections to approving the minutes or approving the written summary for video record on Tuesday, October 14th, 2025? Any objections? No objections? Okay. Motion has been approved, and the written summary for video record Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 is passed. I almost sounded professional when I said that, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Okay, moving on, request for restrict parking zone, RPZ. I know that we have some folks in here for that. It is my understanding that the community members have decided that they don't want to go with that, but they do have some questions. Okay.
We have a presentation. Would you like us to go through that or just take questions?
I think that would be warranted. That way it gives the community members that are interested in this some more information. Any objections over there, by the way? Nope. Okay.
Okay. So Max and I are with the Department of Transportation Services, and we help run the Transportation Demand Management Program, which its main goal is to help alleviate congestion and make roads safer and help people figure out different ways to get around the island that's not just single occupancy trips. And a part of that is the restricted parking zone program. And you'll find that mainly in residential areas. And go to our next slide. So what a restricted parking zone is designed to prioritize on-street parking for the residents and businesses that are in that area. And with that, it reduces non-resident parking and opens up availability for everybody who lives or works in that area. Benefits, like I said, it prioritizes parking for residents because you're eliminating people who maybe are just leaving cars on the road, they're abandoned, or in ʻAiea, there was issues with loitering and trash being left on the streets at all hours of the night. So it increases safety in that area. And then also it just continues to reduce traffic congestion. And it also helps with environmental impacts by people aren't having to go around in circles trying to find a parking spot. It opens up a lot of availability so they can park near their home. And then do RPZs actually work? And we say yes. We had the pilot in ʻAiea Valley and the program actually just launched this year. They saw an 86% decrease in non-residential on-street parking and then a 70% increase in available spaces near their homes. Right now, the restricted hours are 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. with a 1 hour grace period. And then if anybody is parked without a permit in those areas between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., they will get fined. Permit pricing, that was established under ROH 15-30, and the city is required to follow it. And the fees were established to help manage the cost of running the program. So it includes day-to-day administration and also HPD enforcement. This is the permit pricing table, and the limit per household is 4 permits and 4 residential permits, and that's just to make it to where everybody who lives in that area has a permit available to them. So at least one household or each household gets at least 1 permit. Additionally, there's a visitor permit. Each household again gets 1 visitor permit, but they can give it to anybody they want. It's a hang tag. And then there's also single day visitor permits that if there's an event or you're having a birthday party or something like that, you can purchase those. And then there's non-resident single day permits, which that's for areas that might have a hiking trail, country club, anything like that, something that has kind of like a tourist or visitor, more of a visitor aspect to it. With the resident permits, they are clean tags, and the residents, when they're purchased and they receive them, they'll put them in the top left corner of their car on the driver's side. And the decal, the number will match the license plate. So that way when HPD is enforcing, they'll be able to quickly spot it, see that it has the same license, and then move on and check the other cars out. All permits will be applied for through the RPZ permit portal. So there's no paperwork. You just have to upload a few documents digitally. You can pay there, and then you can also see the permits you have active and the vehicles you have as well. And then you'll get notifications when permits are about to expire. that you've been approved, rejected, whatever the case may be, you'll be actively notified. And then I think what you guys are probably most interested in are the requirements to implement an RPZ. The big one is location restriction. They can't be within half a mile of certified shoreline or upper reach of waves. The parking conditions, there has to be high on-street parking occupancy, little to no off-street parking, many parked vehicles not registered to residents, and then community impact, there has to be some big traffic generator that supports the need for an RPZ. Great. Any questions?
All right, thank you. Great brief. I appreciate the handouts. This definitely clears it up for me in terms of the pricing structure. Let me ask a question. So the first permit would be like 125, and if you have a second car, that's an additional 250, and then an additional 375 for 3, and an additional 500. So, okay. So you're looking at like $1,000 almost. Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. Board members, any questions? Community members, any questions for the RPZ? Go ahead, Randy.
So we were looking into RPZ because we have we live on KKD Street. A lot of us live in their area, and there's a treatment facility that opened up, and it's a 24/7. So we're having problems with that house having just numerous of cars that people saw. They house boys up to 5, but they have 24/7 care. So only I think 2 people live at the house, but would this help for something like that?
Jean, and she had mentioned that it's kind of sporadic when the parking gets filled up. So typically with restricted parking zone, there is set times for when people can and can't park there without a permit. Do you see any consistency when the parking gets filled up? Does it happen in the morning, the afternoons, evenings?
So they have more, they take more parking during the day because I guess there's more services. But the problem is they're not residents that come in. So would you be able to help with that if we go for that? Because we talked to a lot of our street and they were willing to try something like that, but I guess that house now is being better. Yes, because I think, we brought these concerns to the neighborhood board but we're anticipating it not staying like that.
Yeah, I think we could look at the flexibility in hours for the restricted parking zone, but
So the restricted parking, wouldn't it be a 24-hour thing? It'd be during certain times?
Yes, typically the restricted hours are in the evenings in order to guarantee the residents their overnight parking. I'm Max Calhammer, by the way. I am the program manager
Okay.
at DTS. And I'd also like to just clarify when you're asking about the first permit and the second
Yeah.
permit, those are for on-street spaces. I mean, of course, I just like to clarify that people who have driveways can use their driveway space without.
Correct, right.
buying permits. Just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that and not assuming that they have to buy a permit.
Right. Okay. But in their particular case, it's not evening, it's during the day.
Yes. So to address the question about that, I think some sort of arrangement that's not an RPZ and it's kind of like a special use zoning designation or something would probably be the more appropriate long-term solution.
What do you mean by zoning designation? Because they're already there.
They're already there.
Yeah.
They're zoned in, but I think maybe something might be a better fix than a permit for the entire street or the entire neighborhood because it's a day use and it's,
And it's used, yeah, and it's being used by like psychiatrists, teachers, you know, these types of services are being provided to these youths. And so we're not talking about like people like leaving trash or something, right? Like you mentioned earlier, but it's more about like, yeah, and they're there during the day, right? Providing this service. So doing an evening thing is not going to work for these folks, right? So, yeah.
it doesn't sound like it, but you know, we could certainly
I'm
visit-
curious. Yeah, I'm
visit
curious
with
about the
people
zoning thing though.
and observe during the daytime what's going on, and we could try to come up with maybe a signage solution or some kind of a, you know,
Give me an example of a signage solution. What would that be like?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
Just to be honest, but
Yeah.
some, like there are approved uniform traffic control kind of devices that might be
Okay.
appropriate for that kind of
Okay.
area. Maybe like a loading zone type thing, you know, temporary parking, but a limited number of spaces.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Lawrence, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Chair Clark, or Chief Clark, go ahead.
I don't know if it's gonna be, it's gonna be, I would say, a few, Wilson Street, Wilson Track in Kalihi.
Yes.
I don't know if that's gonna do anything to see if we can create something out of that where you're talking about.
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Like, you mean the example of the Wilson Track Kalihi RPZ, if it's successful, then it.
No, they had different things of parking on there at certain times in certain places. That's 30 years ago. I don't know if you, well, I'm aging myself, aren't I? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, Board Member Clark, I wasn't here 30 years ago. I was probably just born, but I was there when we were talking about setting up the restricted parking zones with Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board. And this is how the great program for RPZs came about. For Wilson Track, the issue was people who may or may not have driveways available to use, did not have parking and had to park maybe across the highway to then get to their property, and was mainly at night, which is why we mentioned the evening parking issues. And so that is what Wilson Track happened. And they also have like a park in the area there. They have like two parks. So that was also a place where people left their cars as well. And so to address all of those concerns, that's where the restricted parking zones came about. There are, of course, growing pains that are with the program and with the residents, especially if people do happen to rent or, you know, there's different generations that live in homes there. So people who agreed to the program before, let's say their children who grew up and now have to pay for that, may not agree now. So we're seeing that throughout this program. Sorry, can I mention that? Okay, yeah. Because, and they did come to us because I was part of those discussions at the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board when I did report there. Also, Chairwood, if I could just mention the land use ordinance, which is what Max brought up. So it basically allows for different uses for whether it be medical facilities or different types of uses in residential areas, that allows for what type of parking and during the particular hours of the day. And that would be for daytime use, which is what I think you were alluding to. So that is something that the Department of Planning and Permitting, as well as the Honolulu City Council, which would then go to the Zoning Committee, which I'm a member of, would then take a look at. So you can either go through the council members, either through me or Councilmember Okimoto, or through the Department of Planning and Permitting. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go through you.
Oh, okay. Sure, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't matter when ʻAiea.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Residents, any other comments, ma'am? And then Claire.
So is there any specific deadline for applying? Like any time during the year? We can just apply any time during the year. Okay, and then, so if there's a violation, it's up to the residents to report it then. They have to call HPD.
HPD should be patrolling, but if they see a car, they can call HPD and they can come.
And what is the penalty? What is the fine?
$35 an hour.
So what happens when we establish the RPZ is that we write a memo to HPD to formally request that they begin enforcing. And so for in the case of Kalihi Valley, it'll be in January, starting in 2026, and we're selling permits in advance. And so that's what would happen, like say theoretically, if we were to start one here. But if there's no case for it, there's no case for it, or if the residents are not interested, of course, but we will always take someone's nomination and add it to the interest list and then study it. Yes.
It's an RPZ, it's for residential neighborhoods.
Yes, I mean, that's what it's intended to do, is to restrict parking for residential neighborhoods near traffic generators, like an event facility or a mall or a school or something like
Because I
that.
think what they're getting to is it's a business, operating a business in a residential area. That's why they have the, I guess, high number of vehicles. So when you get the RPZ, the permit, does that permit tie into the vehicle registration, and that registration has to be registered to that particular address?
Yes.
So if you get an RPZ, that business cannot get any permits because they're not tied into that business address.
In theory, yes, and the service providers would not either.
So they have no
That-
parking because they're not registered to that address as far as their car registration.
Correct.
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cass.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out a risk that's been mentioned a couple times by a council member and our guest speakers, that any restrictions will also impact the residents and the people that live in the area as well. So, I mean, just looking at these fees, if you're going to have visitors, if this RPZ was enabled in on that street or in that neighborhood, your visitors would have to have a permit, right, to park on the street.
Okay, so it all depends on your household and your driveway. That would be my advice would be, for if you only have one visitor at a time and you have a residential permit, you park on the street and let your visitor park in the driveway. That would be one easy solution.
It also depends on time too. Normally, they have certain time, but it's not 24 hours.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So as far as, I guess, boundaries for your RPZ, can it be like only a dozen houses, or would it have to be like so many blocks that you do it?
There isn't a certain limit. With Kalihi, there's 5 different zones that is spread across Kalihi. So it just depends on the streets that are impacted by that traffic generator.
So if it's one street and they have too much cars parked, they can get RPZ for that one street that maybe covers 12 homes.
Theoretically, yes.
Oh, thank you.
I do have to note, because I know that people in my district have tried to set this up, but this does not guarantee that you will have a stall on the street. Just letting you all know that it doesn't guarantee that you get to park right in front of your home either. So I just wanted to note that.
Thank you, Kaz, but I talked to our street, and if it has to go like this, they would accept it. Yeah. Okay, so, but we're putting on pause because we're waiting to see how this business reacts at this time. So can we just put on pause for now and do
Yeah.
more research?
Of course, and when the time comes, or if it comes, you could email us at the rpz@honolulu.gov email, or you can call us. It's on the brochure.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, thank you.
And the work you guys are doing in terms of logging and things like that, you're gonna go to help with this when and if that.
Yes, yes, thank you.
You guys are doing great stuff. Okay, we're gonna move on. All the questions are answered over there. Okay, with that, thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for clearing a lot of this up. And we'll go ahead and move on. So next is the Empty Homes Tax Presentation by the Housing Now Coalition.
Aloha, Chair. May I share my screen?
Yep, go ahead.
Right. Just give me 1 second. Hey, this is a great board, by the way. I really like the discussion y'all are having here. All right, here we go. So mahalo again for having me. My name is Ross Isokane. I actually grew up in Newtown well over 30 years ago, just to age myself. Today, I serve on the Downtown Chinatown Neighborhood Board, but I'm here today as a volunteer advocate for the Empty Homes Tax. That's Bill 46. It was co-introduced in 2024 by your council member, Brady and Cordero, and Chair Waters, who has assured me, by the way, this is still alive, awaiting a final vote. So this is a very engaged board, I can see, so I know you're familiar, and some of you are possibly opposed, but I appreciate you giving me some time to share my mana'o. I'm aiming for 3 minutes, so I'm going to try to blast through this. Okay, so we all know we're in a major housing crisis, but 1 in 4 homes sold each year has been going to outside investors, and they're not renting them out to residents. They're using them as vacation homes, illegal short-term rentals. How is that helping? Now, in a crisis, we have to be biased toward action. But let's get real. Who wants more taxes? Not me. I come from a traditional conservative family. I have a background in business and accounting. We all pay too much in Hawaii. But the tax from this bill will primarily get paid by outsiders. And more importantly, it addresses our critical housing crisis, which is forcing more of our young adults to move to the mainland. Or maybe they still live at home with you. And while we have to build more, also realize that the free market has failed us because all we see are luxury towers rising into the sky, and more of our kama'aina get priced out. There is wide support. 7 other neighborhood boards to date have signed on to say this is important. So we're looking to you to join this cause. The opposition, the loudest voices are from groups you'd expect, developers, real estate, and others who profit from transactions to outsiders. Here are some of the opposition's common talking points we hear. I'll try to blast through them. 1, the only solution is to build. But even Governor Green said building alone isn't going to get us out of this crisis, especially when 1 in 4 gets sold to outsiders. Number 2, you can't tell me what to do with my property. This is unconstitutional. But reminder, this is not a prohibition or a mandate. The city has always taxed different property classes at different rates. Number 3, it's too hard to enforce. But just, from what we hear, the city will start with self-declarations. Just check a box. Is it your home, your long-term rental, or is it vacant? Not too hard. Number 4, this one's important. Many residents have said, hey, we might have a valid reason for keeping our home vacant, so this could be unfair. The current bill, just want to point out, has 15 exemptions, more than 15 exemptions, designed to protect residents. They even exempted a second home for locals. No tax. But investors who own 3, 4, 5 homes that are vacant, those might get taxed. Okay, so I'm going to move to the final slide. So I'm almost pow. Just as a reminder, this is about keeping Hawaii homes for Hawaii families. It is unacceptable that 1 in 4 homes sold during a crisis goes to outsiders. Can you imagine if we were in a drought or famine, and 25% of our food and water got shipped off to investors. If our elected officials just sat back and did nothing, I mean, there'd be people calling for criminal charges. In the context of a crisis, this isn't overreach, it's a necessity. So please join other Oahu neighborhood boards to support this cause and help us take back our homes. I urge you to vote yes if you're going to entertain a resolution in support. Mahalo.
All right, thank you. Board members, any questions, comments, concerns? Lawrence?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this can work, but what if you put a clause, anybody who buys a home has to be a resident for the past 5 years? And if they're not a resident, just to get monies, you charge them twice the amount of property tax for the first 5 or 10 years, then it goes back down to what everybody else is paying. I'm not sure if there's still time to edit that bill.
Yeah, and if I can respond, Chair, I'd be happy to try to give a response. And
Please,
just for
please.
for clarity,
We do open conversation there. It's talk story.
I love the format. As another neighborhood board member, this is great. No, thank you for the question, board member Higa. Just to clarify, I'm not with the city or the city council. I'm just a volunteer resident. My understanding of what you're proposing, my quick thoughts is that could be deemed unconstitutional under certain clauses that you can't necessarily discriminate directly against non-residents. But that said, I think in this housing crisis, all potential solutions to try to curb outside or speculative investment should be in the table. This just happens to be one that's still alive, and to my knowledge, the only one that's alive that will target that.
So Curtis, correct me if I'm wrong, but we voted on this last year, didn't we? And it was voted no. Yeah. I just want to make that clear. And I think the reasons that we voted no was the owner's property rights, if I remember correctly, right, Paul? Yep. Okay. All right. Lawrence, you got something else?
Councilman Radiant Cordero, could you check on that as far as the legality of doing something like that? Hey, you on your phone. Yeah, so when you buy a home, if you haven't been a resident for the past 5 years, instead of paying the normal property tax, they charge you twice as much for a limited period of time. Then it goes back down because I think they're trying to get away from outsiders buying up our housing. So just so that you can get monies off of people coming in buying housing, you charge them more property tax if they weren't a resident for the past 5 years. I know you mentioned that you have some legal concerns. I'm not an attorney, so I'm not sure if it's something that is there or is not there. But could you look into it? Sorry for getting on you, but I always see you when you come to our meetings, that's why. Thanks.
Okay. With that, thank you for the presentation. We'll move on. Okay. Discussion and vote on a resolution in support of the Kealoha ʻAiea Ohana Park. I think this was Claire's thing. I gave it all to you guys. So based on that resolution, does anybody want to make a motion to move forward on it? Okay, so Jordan will do motion. Anybody want to second that motion? Okay, Russell. Okay, Russell. Okay, open for discussion. Is there any discussions that want to occur in regards to this? Yes, it is you, and we're already in discussion format, so please
Sorry.
go ahead.
We would like to ask your support for this trees grant. We resubmitted, we cleaned up some of the grammatical things. I did talk to both EAH and the football team. I went up to talk to them. They are the junior feeder school football teams for the ʻAiea high school team that had such great success this year. And I talked to them about the trash, but I also talked to them about, I didn't talk to them about the parking, but I asked them about how they felt about trees here. And I was pleasantly surprised because the kids said, trees, we're going to get trees, so that'd be great. It's hot out there.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're for the trees.
like the trees.
They like the trees.
I want
Okay.
them to even take care of the trees, but that's another thing.
But will there be room enough for them to practice over there still?
We're not putting trees all over the place.
Okay.
I mean, we're not, no. I didn't tell them though, we eventually want to make a park out of it.
Right, that's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you got to get the tree. Guys, they wanted, they came and presented and then they had to get through their green space thing.
Right.
And they said, oh, there's no space for green space, but we suggested to them that maybe they can help Makalapa Park,
Yep.
and all these other
Yep.
things. We had represented, well, I came up at our ACA meeting again, and so they were granted an exemption from even providing green space at all.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, so they went around, they
Yeah.
came, made their presentation, and then I don't know what they told the zoning or the permitting people, but we have to kind of remain a little vigilant about, setting aside the green spaces. We have to put trees. EH says anything that will make the place look nicer and greener would be better. I don't know if we're ever going to get to a point where we're going to put the walkways in. We also talked to them about the football team. We talked to them about maybe looking at other parks where they can play at, that they would have, because it is taking a wear and tear on the field. I mean, I looked at it yesterday.
Yeah.
Even with all the rain, it's really there. So hopefully, if we get something growing there, some tree cover there, it'll be good.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, Claire, this is a very lovely idea, and I applaud all of your efforts. But I am also concerned about the football players there. The reason why there's wear and tear there because there's so many kids that want to play football there.
Yeah, no,
And as a turf grass person, trees don't help grass grow. In fact, they can interfere with grass growth. But what I would like to ask you to do is to perhaps provide us with a map, a proposal of how the tree canopies would look, and see if there is enough room to have both the trees and a football practice area.
I think we did present.
yeah, but that was for like a park with the pathways and everything. I think
Yeah,
what
so
Paul's
just-
asking for is just the trees.
Yeah, so just take out the pathways.
I
there.
guess.
That's where the trees would be. Okay,
Yeah.
I will see if the person who drew up that plan can do that. Uh, Um,
I mean, do you remember that plan, Paul? Because we got it. We had it.
I don't remember, but I would have wanted it to include enough open space for the football players, and I don't remember seeing that.
players are fairly recent. They're
Yeah, they're within a year now? Maybe?
Yeah,
A year or
and,
two? Yeah.
So, they were practicing someplace else before.
Is there a reason why they moved over this year?
Partly, I think they used to practice at Halava Field a lot.
Uh-huh.
Halava Field got into a little disrepair.
Uh-huh.
They have some plumbing issues there that they're still trying to work on.
Okay.
Then there also is, I think it's harder for their kids to get there.
Okay.
I'm not really
Yeah.
exactly sure.
Okay.
But, and I think the program is getting bigger.
It is getting bigger. I
Yes.
see more kids
So
out there.
there are like all levels. A lot of them do come from the housing though.
Yeah.
That, the coach that I talked to actually is a.
Have they considered Makalapa Park?
They would consider Makalapa Park, but I think we're not at that point yet. I mean, I don't want to say, I don't want to take them and displace them someplace else when the trees are the trees haven't even been planted yet. It'll take a long while for them to grow. Some of them, I mean, they're going to be supplied by the city, and partly the city, when they checked out their irrigation system, they realized it wasn't as well irrigated as they thought
Okay.
it was going to be. So there's work to be done.
What if Claire went back, dug up this drawing again, sent it back to us over the break, and then we revisit this in January.
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Is everybody in agreement with that? Would that be okay for everybody? Because I think there are some new board members that never saw that original park plan.
The only thing I don't know is, I don't know if there's a ticking timeline already for the grant. Because it's $35,000 that has to maybe be used in a certain amount of time. I don't know that.
Okay.
Okay. Because we have the money already.
Is there a way you can find out?
Yeah, I can.
Can you let me know? And
Yeah.
then I can convene a special meeting just on this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But give us the drawing again.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that way, everybody on this board can look at it, especially the new folks too. And then we can go from there.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks.
All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and for now, anybody want to make a motion to table this till January? All right, Paul, okay. Anybody want a second? Lawrence, okay. So we're gonna go ahead, Curtis, and table this till January. Okay, great. All right, let's move on. Okay. Discussion and vote on resolution in support of proposed moratorium for large-scale lithium-ion solar battery storage systems on Oahu. That's a mouthful. Lawrence.
I just wanted to ensure that of all the projects on the island that are using large lithium ion battery storage facilities, that they take necessary precautions so that we don't have a catastrophic event happen. For instance, there's one going out toward Kapolei that's next to the freeway. I'm not sure if there's fire hydrants in the area, if anybody studied wind conditions. But if that facility should light up, like what the fire department said, they cannot put out the fire. They have to let the chemicals burn out. If that should happen, is that going to be a 12-hour fire, a 24-hour fire? What happens to the freeway? Do we shut the freeway down, cut off the west side from entering into the Halava corridor? I'm just concerned that there's a lot of things happening, and as far as the precautions, the checks, I'm not sure what oversight is happening.
Okay, so where's your resolution? Okay. Okay. Did anybody get a chance to read it? No? Okay. Yeah, that's a ban. Microphone. It's okay.
For instance, as far as those storage sites on the mainland, there has been fires at certain storage facilities. And in those cases, they actually had to evacuate the nearby surrounding communities because when those batteries burn, it gives off toxic smoke and chemicals. So I just want to ensure that, a lot of checks and balances have been made. The fire department is aware. They have fire in the area so they can suppress it because those areas are kind of like out of the way off of main roads. So I'm not sure if there's a water source close by. I'm not sure if anybody studied the wind direction, but I hate to see someplace like that light up and then we have to shut down the freeway because we have all this toxic smoke that's floating over the freeway. Say it's not a cast in stone issue as far as a moratorium, but say if we give them 6 months, HFD, everybody looks at it and they say, okay, this is reasonable, it's safe, then hey, I'm okay with it. I just want to ensure that as far as public safety, all the checks have been made because it seems like we're putting up these really fast and I'm not sure if everybody is checking as far as how safe these facilities are. It's a new technology, so I just want to ensure that it's safe as far as what we know now.
Where they can't even figure out how to put out the fire.
That's correct, but these facilities, it's not like one Tesla car battery. It might be made up of 50 Tesla car batteries. So now when you have that light up and there's a chemical reaction, that fire may burn for 12 hours. And if it's adjacent to a freeway, and that toxic smoke is going over the freeway, the prudent thing as far as from the city, state, they're gonna shut down the freeway. Because all those cars that are passing through it, it's gonna be a hazard to the people in their cars when they're driving.
So don't we have an existing problem with homes that have the PV and the battery systems already in place? I mean, it seems like that's what you're speaking to is just a scaled up version of what has already been approved. So now the question is if this risk, if there is no risk mitigation plan for a facility like this, was there ever one for residential and businesses with PV? And if there wasn't, do we need to go back and put a moratorium on that? Or even, stop the use of existing PV and batteries at residentials, existing homes and businesses that already have that. You see, it's kind of like a slippery slope, right? So I understand the moratorium, but do we just stop there if we know that if suppression doesn't exist for this technology? Should we further go down the rabbit hole and start looking at existing homes? Because like you said, once it goes up, there's nothing that Honolulu Fire Department can do to suppress it. And if it burns and with how the properties are lined up close to each other, we have those risks in place. So do we continue down and now do we start looking at homes with these batteries and do moratoriums as well? Should we consider that?
Well, as far as what I'm looking at large scale facilities, more like industrial. As far as facilities or systems at residential homes, they're small enough where, like the fire department said, they can suppress it to that particular home and protect the nearby properties. When these large scale facilities, if they light up, you have like the equivalent of say 50 Tesla batteries going up all at once. So they cannot do anything about those fires. They have to let it burn out. But when the fires are burning, it emits a lot of toxic smoke and ash comes out of it. But it's more those large facilities that it's away from infrastructure as far as water and other things that they can perhaps use to help suppress or contain that fire. But I just want to ensure that there's a lot of checks and balances that were followed because it's a new technology. And as far as the city, state permitting these projects, I'm not sure if we have the technical background and all of our review checkers as far as checking setbacks, checking for infrastructure for suppressing the fire. But I just want to ensure that something like this happening in Hawaii, when our island is so small, we have veins of traffic routes that run on the H1 or whatever, H2. If we have a fire close by, whether it is half a mile, depending on your wind conditions, they may have to shut down the freeway. And if they got to shut it down for 24 hours, that's going to become like a state emergency.
So are we aware of any large scale commercial facilities that have this amount of lithium batteries?
There are several. And what's interesting is
Here on island, there's several here on island.
Correct.
Okay.
Even on Maui and stuff. But what's interesting is Hawaii Electric, they formed a subsidiary to put these type of facilities in place. This past August, they sold those facilities to an outside party. So I'm assuming that they used ratepayer money to put the facility there. When they sold it, I'm pretty sure they made some money there. But if it wasn't a high risk, I would think Hawaii Electric would just operate it. But on the mainland, there have been cases where these facilities have gone up. And once it starts burning, you cannot put it out. So as far as the moratorium, say if we bring it to light and we say, okay, for the next 6 months, we put everything on pause, we look into this. As long as the community know that there's a risk there and everybody has their say, that's fine. But I don't think a lot of people in the community realize what the risks are when they have these facilities close by our major infrastructure. Homes, freeways, highways. I don't think the community understands what the risk can be. But if we table the issue, we put it like 6-month moratorium. And then after everybody looks into it and they say, okay, everything's cool, let's go and just let it go. That's fine. My main thing is, I don't want to have a blind eye when I know these things are happening on the mainland and they say, okay, this facility is fine. And down the road, something happens and we have a state of emergency because we got to shut down the freeway.
Chair, he brings up a good point that it's not just identifying the risks or bringing the risk to the community, but also having a mitigation plan in case those risks do become an issue. So yeah, I agree. There's questions. We're not getting necessarily the answers to these things.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have any comments, questions, concerns about this?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ron, hey, welcome.
This is a lot of speculation. I think we just need to get our expert in here to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, I would be,
These are very environmental green projects.
so
That's
that
what
was,
we do.
yeah, so that was gonna be my question, right? Which is, maybe we should drag somebody in here to answer these before we go voting on resolutions on it.
I agree.
I'm not sure who we could bring in. That's the issue because, like I mentioned, Point Electric from the subsidiary, they put up these facilities, then they sold it to outside party.
So HECO, if we brought HECO in here, they want to be able to help us with.
They don't own it already.
The way it doesn't, the people that are going to operate the system, they should come in. Well,
But I'm not sure if they would come to our board meeting because there's no skin in the game because they already own the facility. It would be to their detriment to come in and explain what they're doing.
Chair.
I just want them to have a check and balance and let everybody know the possible concerns and say 6 months out, everybody knows about it, everybody takes responsibility, everything's cool. Then yeah, I'm all good because everybody knows about it. But I think as of today, a lot of people don't know the risks of these large lithium-ion battery storage facilities.
Russell?
Well, I
I was
still
gonna
think
say,
expert in
Hold on, Ron, just for a second. Russell, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, in my view, my personal opinion is I think I would support, Lawrence in his resolution. But I don't know who has the authority
Yeah.
over this issue. But I think it's a good thing to bring forward as a support, and perhaps within the next 6 months or so, we can figure out which agency has the authority, because I'm thinking from a permitting side, that would be the issue, but I think, I'm not sure if the county has exempted on ag land these solar farms to be built on ag land. If you have something going up right by Costco.
Yep, I saw those, yeah.
Huge.
They're huge, yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any permitting requirements, but I think
they have permits, I
we
believe.
could figure out who has the jurisdiction and authority to actually make this thing happen.
Right.
Because even if we pass a resolution supporting the moratorium, I don't know where we'd go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm kind of lost of like how we would tackle this thing.
Yep.
Hold on just for a second. Ron, go ahead.
No, I don't think it's that hard to find an expert. We just call Hawaiian Electric, ask for the people that are involved with that, and they can refer us to whoever.
Hey, Lawrence, you think you could start tackling that? I mean, this is your resolution. Maybe do some legwork on it.
I'll look into it, but like I said, they don't have any skin in the game and it would be to their disadvantage to come to a board meeting because then they're gonna get a lot of questions. If they cannot answer the questions, it'll make them look bad on their part.
It would also make them look bad too, is me going on the news and saying that they're hiding stuff from us.
I'll check into it.
Okay,
Hawaiian Electric has come out here before when we had issues with the library.
exactly.
No, I still want to have the motion in, whether the motion does anything or not. I just want it to be on record that it was a concern and whether the ʻAiea board votes to back the motion, they vote not to back the motion. It doesn't matter. I just want people to be aware of what's going on or in their areas and what the potential hazards could be.
Okay. We'll continue. I mean, I'm in agreement with you, by the way, on this, okay? Not trying to be disagreement with you, but I think we do need to do some more legwork as well. So let's pull that thread with Pico and see, or where, whoever, and see if we can bring somebody in that can talk smart to us about this. So that way we're a little bit more educated. But
Okay.
that doesn't stop us from today, okay? That's what I'm saying. But I need you to do some legwork on that.
I'll look into it.
Okay. Paul, go ahead.
No, I was just going to suggest that if we pass the resolution, it would raise awareness, and the responsible people may actually come to us to answer our questions. Because it's going to be hard for Larry to find out who's going to be an expert on that. But we're not preventing anything. We're just raising awareness and asking for a moratorium on
Okay.
the storage facility. So I'm in favor of his resolution.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions? Because I want to move on. We got 25 minutes and we still got a couple more Larry or Lawrence resolutions to go through. Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right. Let's go ahead and with that, we'll go ahead and do yays or nays. So yeah, it was already done. Yeah.
We voting?
Yep, we are.
Roll call vote?
Yep, roll call
Yes,
vote.
roll call vote. Anderson absent, Arakaki absent, Ka'alam. Oh, she left. Oh, yay or nay? Aye or nay, or abstain. So we are now discussing the first resolution in support of proposed moratorium for large-scale lithium-ion solar battery storage systems on Oahu. Abstain, okay. Clark. Abstain. Conley. Ferguson. Fitch.
Oppose.
Glenn. Higa. Imamura Uru absent. Maeda. Mizusawa absent. Suji. Support? Okay. And Wood.
Abstain.
Abstain. With 6 aye votes, 1 nay, and 3 abstentions, the resolution is not adopted. You need 8.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. Discussion and vote on resolution in support of disposal fee for lithium ion electric vehicle batteries on Oahu. Lawrence?
Okay, I went to E&D meeting, environmental services, and it was basically for wastewater, but they're also discussing refuse collection as far as recyclables, trash, lithium ion batteries. And they did mention that they had a program in place for disposing EV batteries. They were shipping it off island. I have not heard of such a program, and I'd ask if our council member can verify that, but she's on her phone again.
She is a busy woman, okay, so, and I appreciate the fact that she's here till this time of night, so, because she's worked all day, so.
But I don't believe there is a program, but my main concern is, back in the 70s, they were really concerned with cutting down trees and making paper bags. So they decided to use plastics instead. So now what's happening is worldwide, there's plastics all over the world in our deepest oceans, North Pole, South Pole. I'm concerned because this lithium ion batteries, there's not a reasonable way of disposing it. And sooner or later, it's gonna come to a point, because we live on an island, we're not gonna have any place to put it. And it's gonna cause a lot of pollution in our grounds, in our oceans, in our streams. So I wanted to just propose that they have a fee that they could impose now and use that fee to determine how to address this lithium ion batteries that's in electric vehicles.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion for the approval of a resolution in support of the disposal fee for lithium ion electric vehicle batteries? Okay, anybody want a second? Hey, Russell. Okay, open for discussion. Anybody, any comments, questions, concerns about this particular resolution? Paul?
Yeah. Board Member Higa, are you going to put a size limit as far as the small batteries versus large batteries?
As far as the smaller batteries, Battery Bill actually does dispose of lithium ion batteries, but they charge $10 to $25 per pound. The lithium ion batteries in electric vehicles, they weigh anywhere from 600 to say 1,000 pounds. So Battery Bills, they do not dispose of the lithium ion batteries in electric vehicles.
Does the car manufacturers, are they responsible for recycling or disposing of those batteries if they've serviced that particular car?
To my knowledge, if it's under warranty, yes. Once the car is out of warranty, no.
Okay. Okay, so what happened? Okay, all right. Questions, anybody else? Okay. So if it's out of warranty, what happens then? Like, how does that work? Do you know?
Well, I would suspect it's after the car breaks down,
Mm-hmm.
it's either abandoned or taken to a tow yard, and they just keep the car there. Because they cannot dispose of the car either.
Mm-hmm. Is there an agency within the city that handles recycling and disposal? I would assume there is because there's garbage disposal and
The
trash.
guy
pickup.
from Refuse says that Maui is trying to develop a program. Oahu doesn't have any program.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Does anybody know what's happening now when you want to abandon a car? How are they getting rid of old cars that are junk presently?
It just sits at the the car yard, you know, where they dispose of cars. It just sits there. They cannot crush it because you're gonna start a fire. So the cars just sit there or they sit on an abandoned property somewhere.
Okay. I'm not,
That's-
okay. You're shaking your head over there, council member. What's this? What's the real skinny here?
Yeah, what's our city council people say?
Okay, hi, everyone. Radiant Cordero, council member for Council District 7. So we do have a steel contract. I've seen them crush abandoned vehicles or even just old school buses, and they are crushed into cubes and then moved on to ships.
Yeah, but we were talking about the EVs.
EVs. Oh,
Yeah.
so sorry. For EVs, I think they try to work with the different motor vehicle dealers to try to get those shipped like as a whole car off to trucks. I don't know what state, but somewhere else.
But there's like a process, I
Yes.
guess.
Mhm.
Okay, so they're not just sitting in some tow truck's yard. There's not thousands of Teslas sitting somewhere.
So as for the electric vehicles, or abandoned, if they're abandoned, they do have to be not claimed for a certain amount of time.
Uh-huh.
And then, I guess our contractor, one of the towing contractors will have to, I guess, monitor how long it is, and then, like, if it's
They
been
will
there for a while.
so for example, let's say it's a Tesla that's abandoned, right?
Yeah,
Okay, and it's sitting in a tow truck's yard for
Yeah.
X amount of time.
yeah.
The tow truck company will get with Tesla and say, hey, we got this car that was abandoned.
So they'll work with not the towing company, but
Mhm.
the customer services department.
Okay, we'll get with Tesla and say, hey, there's this car that was abandoned. We need, it's an EV, right? Because it's a Tesla. So they say, we need to ship it to the mainland?
So maybe not Tesla specifically,
Yeah.
but maybe a particular contract that they have. These contracts change all the time.
Okay.
Depending on its expiration date, but yeah, it may not be Tesla specific.
Right, but I'm just trying to get an
Yeah,
example here.
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
All right, so the contractor will get with the car's manufacturer and work out a way to get it off the island
Yeah,
and back to
but it
mainland.
takes years, sometimes like maybe a decade or so.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, Mike? Or I mean, Lawrence?
I just wanted to confirm, so there is a program in place where they ship off these cars back to the mainland?
But it takes a while for them to go through that process, being abandoned, going through, yeah, yes.
Because not too long ago, even Matson was saying that they didn't want to ship electric vehicles
Yeah.
because of the potential for fires. And that was new cars. Now we have an old car that's been in service, and they're willing to ship those old cars back on the barge back to wherever.
It'll probably take a very long time for them to then get it on a barge. But yes,
Because the
eventually.
refuse guy was saying they submerged that battery in water.
Mhm.
So I did not understand how you can do that to a whole car. But can you look into that and see if there is a program?
Okay. Yep.
Thank
So do you want to pull your resolution until that point?
No, I still want to put it through because as far as, say if they ship the car back to the mainland.
Yeah.
Is it $100? Is it $5,000? Who pays for that?
Yeah, that is a bit of what our property taxes pay for. Those services between the city and contracting with whatever company we contract with.
Yeah, so I'm not certain if the property taxes are paying to ship those cars back because I'm not even sure if they are doing it. I heard from other sources, they don't ship cars.
So it's taking a while to go through that process to then possibly end up going to another state, or if it's Big Island that is looking to have a particular facility that could take these types of batteries or vehicles. If that gets set up, then we'll easier to go there.
So there is a process currently then.
Yes, but once again, it's probably going to take more than a decade for them to get on a barge or even out of the lot.
So 10 years, so all those cars that's sitting around, they're gonna sit somewhere for 10 years before they can do anything about it.
Just like all the other police cars or other cars that then ends up possibly getting auctioned or takes forever. Yeah,
Right, thank you.
thank you.
Okay. All right. With that, we're coming up on 15 more minutes, so let's
Yeah,
make it quick.
I don't understand how assessing a tax, additional taxes on something like this would actually solve the problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like the homeless issue. The more money you throw at it, the more problems we have. So especially with a system where taxes end up, once they start collecting, they end up getting spent on other things. So it just doesn't make sense at this point if we don't have a clear objective how the taxes are going to be used and what they're going to be used for and how to restrain it just for that purpose. It doesn't make sense to just charge a tax, you know, and have it sit for something where we really don't have a clearly defined solution on how to resolve this.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Lawrence?
Well, this is not a tax, it's a fee, but it's like a disposal fee. You know, like when you,
What would the fee be going towards?
the disposal of electric vehicles.
How, like what, create a facility to do that? What?
This is just like the beginning as far as collecting the money so something can be done. It's not, I did like a budget and said, okay, to dispose of one car is gonna be a couple of $1,000s. This is just a starting point so that the city has funds so they can do something about the issue. If not, we're gonna wait 10 years before they dispose of one car.
Yeah.
So over that 10-year period, we might have several thousand electric vehicles sitting all over the
Yeah.
island.
Yeah, I get it. I think I think in terms of efficiency, it'd probably be better to have our own recycling center to handle this rather than ship them back to the mainland. You know, but
Oh, I think you would just separate the battery from the car, then recycle the car like any other.
yeah,
We don't have, it's might be a 10-year process now, but that doesn't mean that we can't come to a faster, quicker solution
Yeah.
of getting rid of them.
yeah. Okay. All right. One more thing. Lawrence.
Okay. So if we separate the battery from the car, the battery is still there, you recycle the car, but the battery is still gonna sit for
Yes.
whatever period of time.
Agree. Agree, but it's a lot less cumbersome than the whole car.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay, discussion. I guess we'll go ahead and close that for now. Do a roll vote.
Okay, roll call vote. Ka'alam. Ka'alam. Aye. Clark.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, go.
Conley.
Hold on just for a second.
The purchase of a car which has that thing in there, to have a disposal thing rather than make it go all the way through and then figure it out. I would rather see it at the front end rather than the back end.
Yes, that's fine too. It's just, I wanna ensure that something is being done so people are aware of what they need to do when they have an old car, that they need to take care of it. So whether you charge them in registration fees or any other means, as long as money is being put aside so that they can dispose of the battery when its life is due.
Well, that's, but the word disposal is here. So I look disposal as end of rather than beginning of. So. Yeah. Good idea.
No. So does your resolution like say that the fee would be put on the front end of it rather than on the back end of it?
As far as the resolution, I'm open to whatever changes, as long as people know that.
Okay, so, okay, I get it. So Curtis, let's start this roll call over. Are you willing to make an amendment saying that the disposal fee would be added to the purchase price of the car itself?
Yes.
Okay. So the amendment would say, in support of the resolution, in support of a disposal fee attached to the sale of the car, okay, for lithium ion electric vehicles batteries on Oahu.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody in favor? Let's go ahead and make a motion. Do we need to table the first motion then? Or I mean, pull that back?
You need to make an emotion to amend the motion, a secondary
Yeah, we need to
motion.
make a motion to amend the motion, I should say. So anybody want to make a motion to amend the motion? Correct. Okay. All right. Anybody want to second that motion? Okay. Jordan seconds it. Okay. All right. Now we go ahead and do the vote on the amendment, or I mean, on
Yes.
the resolution
Yes.
for the front end. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do a roll call. on
Sure.
that.
I was just gonna suggest, or whether in addition to having it on the front end on the fee, do we want to add a provision in the reso that there be notice to a buyer of such vehicles that they will be responsible for disposal of the battery at the tail end? Because the disposal fee that you're suggesting to pay upfront is not going to actually cover the disposal of the battery. So, and if we do that, people buying the vehicle in the beginning would then become fully aware of what the costs are associated with that electric vehicle at the end of the term, in addition to what they're paying upfront right now. You see what I'm saying? You pay a fee. I'm not sure it's going to really cover the battery at the end when the owner has to dispose of it.
Okay, we got 7 minutes, guys. Mike. Okay, how about we do this? Let's go ahead and pull this complete resolution off the table at this point. Would you be willing to do that, Chair Clerk? Okay, all right. And then Jordan, do you second? So we'll go ahead and pull this resolution off. Can you redefine this resolution and we'll deal with it in January?
Yes, we'll do.
Okay?
Yeah.
You've heard all the comments. Go ahead and bring it back in January with the updates that we've talked about.
And
Okay.
And Chair,
Okay.
also to include, Chair, to also include what happens to the vehicle if it's resold. You know, who is responsible for paying the fee? Is it going to be the original purchaser of the vehicle? Is it going to be
Right.
the new owner? So
Right.
there's a lot of factors that need to be still considered and thought through.
Yeah.
Exactly, because as far as the fees gotta go into a pool. Because you cannot expect the next person purchasing the vehicle to be responsible for that vehicle disposal when they did not buy the car. So when they pay this additional fees, that fees goes to a pot somewhere. And from there, they pool those fees to dispose of the battery. So whether the vehicle is sold twice, 3 times, 4 times, doesn't matter. The fee was collected on the initial sale.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to go ahead and table this now. Come back in January with an updated resolution and to address all the questions, comments, and concerns that were brought up tonight. Okay, moving on. Discussion and vote on the resolution to support the charter amendments. Anybody get a chance to read this? No? Okay. This is the last time I'm bringing it in front of the board. It's not, we're going to go ahead and take it off and it won't be brought up again. Okay? All right. All right. With that, let's move on to community concerns from residents. Oh, go ahead, Paul. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me, by the way. I appreciate that. So Curtis and I talked about that. The meeting has changed now to an informational thing.
Well, let me put it this way. Last meeting, we supported the composition of sending
Correct.
delegates
Right.
to a meeting to identify and discuss solutions
Correct.
for hurricane disaster
Correct.
preparedness.
Yep.
However, in my communications with Dudley, Keone Dudley,
Yeah.
it looks like it's more like a pep rally for his private things. He was
Yeah.
supposed to have sent out calls to action and we get time, and
Yeah.
he hasn't. And I actually got all of them when in private communications with him. And in his words, he hopes that if there's time at the end, he'll have some time for chairpersons to make a comment.
Yeah. I know.
So, and I don't want to lend legitimacy to his often hysterical comments
Mm.
in his communications. He's talked about thousands and thousands of death, and he doesn't want to bury thousands of people.
Mhm.
But there was a Category 5 hurricane that just hit Jamaica, whose structure is not as good as what we have in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And you hate to say they have only 45 deaths, but that's 45 is not thousands and thousands. He has a lot of factual things correct. He said that by 2080, which all of us will be dead by that time, but there will be one Category 5 hurricane a year in the Northern Pacific. And then he clearly states in his email, Hawaii is in the Northern Pacific. No, Keone, it's not. It's in the Central Pacific. So how can you trust any other statements he's made? Again, he's running around like the sky is falling, and let's go to the meeting, and they're going to have a whole bunch of presentations, and maybe we'll have some time at the end for some comments from the chairman, not from other people. So I move that we withdraw our support for sending appointed members from our neighborhood board. Not saying you can't go as an individual, but not representing the ʻAiea neighborhood board to this special meeting next week.
Okay. Curtis, you were going to say
Oh,
something.
yes, Mr. Glenn, real quick. That's not on the agenda, and also per the meeting minutes, your motion was to create a permitted interaction group so that your board members can discuss outside of the meeting logistics about hurricane and emergency preparedness. So,
But
your
that's
mo-
null and void now because of the type of meeting it's changed to.
well, no, you still have that permitted interaction group.
Right. But
So-
what I mean is we're not going to utilize it.
It doesn't have to be utilized.
Right.
Correct. So
So it's kind of null and void at this point. Yeah.
it's moot. If you want to attend, attend. If you don't want to attend, don't attend.
Yeah, I just wanted to warn
Be on
our
record.
neighborhood board members that it's going to
Yeah.
be filled with hysterical inaccuracies
Yeah.
and exaggerations.
So
And I will not be attending.
I appreciate that, by the way. I will attend, but I'm only attending because I was personally asked by the chair for Pearl City to attend. I initially declined, as you guys all saw. So, so I'm doing that as a kind of a personal favor to that individual, but I'm not keen on attending myself either. So, and it'll be like going to the dentist and getting a root canal, honestly, at this point. So, yeah, those that were assigned at the time last month to do this, it's up to you if you want to attend or not. I would advise that you don't and let me do that only. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. We got 1 minute left. So community concerns and residents. Sorry. Anybody, anything? Okay. All right. With that,
Can
we'll
I?
go move. Oh, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to be that one person with.
No, no, you're great. You are that one person. So you have our undivided attention.
My name is Tara Sutton. I'm with the Red Hill Registry, and I know that I've presented a few times and just made announcements about open enrollment and everybody joining the registry to kind of help alleviate the statement of we don't know the long-term health impacts of jet fuel. So I'll reiterate that, but also just to kind of jump to the point, we have an event going on. It's a webinar. I'm going to put details in the chat, and it's going to be Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. this week. And it's to kind of remember Red Hill for the 4th anniversary of the event. It's the first opportunity that the registry has to do something like that. Our speakers are Ernie Lau, Mahealani Richardson, and Heidi Nichols. And usually these 3 people tell the stories of others or represent other people. And this is going to be a forum for them to talk about their own personal experience and how Red Hill has impacted them. So I just want to extend the invitation. I sent an email to the board members. Sorry, I didn't start with thanking you all for this evening. It was a very enjoyable meeting. But I do hope that you guys can attend and share the invitation with whoever you think may be interested.
Okay, thank you. All right. With that, we're going to move to announcements. The next meeting, because we are in recess in December, next meeting will be Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at 7 p.m. here at the library. You can also access this meeting from WebEx. Rebroadcasts are scheduled on Alelo Channel 49 every last Thursday at 6 p.m. And with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for attending.